the truth. It's different when the facts come out.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday, January the 16th, 2025, 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Thank you for being here. We know you got lots of choices to make every single day, and we are grateful that you choose to spend some time with us. So thank you. You know the drill. Tapping is clapping, liking is loving, sharing is caring. Please consider joining our team if you've not yet done that. Complete all your various tasks. It helps you. It also helps push the live out to the algorithm. Please share like crazy. It is Free Speech Friday. Welcome. Don't forget about joining our Discord. You'll find the link to the Discord in the link tree that's in my bio. If for some reason you're having a difficult time with that, you can either reach out to a moderator or just copy the link, put it in a browser, and as long as you have Discord installed, it will open. We just ask that you go through the verification steps. Shouldn't take it very long. Also, while you're over there in the link tree, there's a few things. You all may recall our very special friend Eve, who used to do these incredible alliteration announcements when she would join for mod announcements. Well, she's now got her own little business. And you'll find a link in the link tree to that. Shop with Eve. Go check it out. Also, a link to the merch store. Whole bunch of brand new items in our merch store, including a new line of sweatshirts that say "Women don't owe you shit," designed by our friend Sam. Also, PBS, NPR, FTT t-shirts. Whole bunch of stuff in there. A lot of really cool items. If you want to stand with a fist, so to speak, a lot of resistance-themed merch in the merch store. Please go check it out. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Appreciate you all being here. Welcome to Free Speech Friday. A lot to cover today, but I want to start with this. I'm not sure if you guys have been paying attention to this. This has been a fascinating thing that I've been watching. I've been following this from the beginning. It's the Peace Walk. And, well, let me just give you the story. So the Buddhist Walk for Peace is a major contemporary peace pilgrimage currently taking place in the U.S. That's rooted in long Buddhist traditions of walking meditation and nonviolent public witness. It's a long-distance pilgrimage, around 2,300 miles, undertaken by a group of around 24 Theravada Buddhist monks from the Huang Dao Vipansa Bhavana Center in Fort Worth, Texas. The walk began October the 26th and is scheduled to finish in February in D.C. after roughly 120 days of travel on foot. The monks walk slowly and mindfully, using the act of walking itself as a meditative and spiritual practice meant to embody peace, compassion, and loving kindness, which are core principles of Buddhism. If I were to, I'm kind of into Buddhism. I believe in karma, and I believe a lot of the things that Buddhists stand for. If I were to ever be part of a formalized religion again, it would most likely be Buddhism. We could all practice mindfulness, which are tenets of traditional Buddhism. The walk for peace, the monks walk slowly and mindfully, using an act of walking itself as meditative and spiritual practice meant to embody peace, compassion, and loving kindness. The walk for peace is not a protest in the political sense. It focuses on the inner cultivation of peace, unity, and compassion. The monks often engage with people in towns and cities along the route, sharing Buddhist principles of mindfulness, forgiveness, and harmony. They give out symbolic items like blessing bracelets as reminders of inner peace and connection. I do wear a blessing bracelet, as a matter of fact, have for years. The peace dog, Aloka, a rescue dog named Aloka, has become a well-known companion on the pilgrimage, walking alongside the monks and symbolizing gentle presence and calm. Aloka, at one point during the journey, had to have a little bit of surgery, but Aloka has been reunited with the monks as they continue their journey. The route takes the monks from Texas through multiple states across the South and the Southeast, including Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, and the Carolinas before heading toward the nation's capital, again, wrapping up the trip in less than a month. Along the way, they've drawn crowds of supporters. I'm not sure if you saw in South Carolina, it was a massive crowd. It resembled the Freedom March. It was amazing. They've been welcomed in town squares and attracted attention of social media with live tracking maps and posts reaching wide audiences. The journey has faced hardships. In November, a vehicle accident in Texas seriously injured 2 monks, resulting in 1 amputation, but the group has continued their mission. Despite these setbacks, the walk presses on, exemplifying resilience, humility, and nonviolence. Walking pilgrimages have a long history in Buddhism and other spiritual traditions as embodied ways to promote peace and compassion. From Cambodian journeys led by monks like Mahagorasandra to Japanese Buddhist peace walks across war-torn regions. In essence, the Walk for Peace is both a living meditation in motion and a symbolic call for unity, an invitation for individuals and communities to reflect on peace, not as a distant goal, but as something practiced one mindful step at a time. You should check it out. Swishy Raiders, thanks for being here. Hearts in the chat for Swishy Raiders. There's an Instagram page. You can just look up Walk for Peace. There's all kinds of social media coverage on it. It's amazing. It's really inspiring. And just, to be honest, It's the reaction from people. I mean, you're not going to find a more humble group of people on earth than Buddhist monks, right? But people who are just so grateful that they just walk by. You've seen tears from people, and I see parents out there with their children, little things like this. So considering everything that we see these days, for this to happen, I think there's no more appropriate time. There's also similar events historically that we can make some comparisons to. A famous Buddhist-led peace walk in the 1990s in Cambodia, associated with the Gohasandra, aimed at reconciliation after war and genocide. In the Thich Nhat Hanh's peace walks, the Plum Village tradition, they walking meditation there as a peace practice, often leading public peace walks during retreats and events worldwide, interfaith peace walks in various U.S. cities. Many communities organize interfaith peace walks after crisis, mass shootings, hate crimes, political violence, hopefully bringing together churches, synagogues, mosques, and Buddhist groups. Civil rights, of course. Civil rights and justice marches with a peace message. And from Selma to Montgomery, that was in 1965, Edmund Pettus Bridge. Historic long-distance march for voting rights, not Buddhist, but deeply similar in the idea of walking as a moral witness. March for Our Lives. We've seen those every single year since 2018. Large-scale nonviolent marches calling for safer communities and reduced gun violence. The Women's March 2017 to present, a mass public march focused on human rights, equality, and civic participation. Peace Pilgrimage from the 1950s to the 1980s. An American woman simply known as Peace Pilgrim walked across the U.S. for decades promoting peace, simplicity, and nonviolence. A lot of these marches, a lot of these walks led by women. Take note of that. Veterans peace walks and healing walks. Some veterans groups have done long distance walks focused on peace, trauma, healing, and preventing war, often tied to PTSD awareness and reconciliation. Of course, numerous indigenous tribes often held as marches or longer walks to honor victims, raise awareness, and promote community safety and healing. And then residential school and memorial walks in Canada and the U.S. Community walks to honor survivors and victims to support truth, healing, and accountability. And climate pilgrimages from sea to shining sea. People walk long distance to climate summits to promote nonviolence, stewardship, and intergenerational responsibility. Perfect example of doing something, right? Doesn't even have to be anything big. You might just decide to organize a whole bunch of friends. You might want to walk from your house to your Capitol building, or across town to raise awareness or something. But this is an example of something that happens. People just, again, their mission is part of who they are. I mean, they promote peace. That's what Buddhist monks do. And as somebody we were having this discussion in our mod chat last night about people doing yoga, and I've been doing yoga for years, and people were like, well, and I meditate too. The thing is that we as Westerners think meditation means clearing your mind. Even these guys who are at the pros of meditation can't necessarily clear your mind. That's not what meditation is. Meditation is just like being in the moment that you're in, and like being fully in the moment that you're in, so to speak. So don't stress out about it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? People attempting to clear their mind get stressed out that they can't clear their mind. Well, don't worry about clearing your mind. Just worry about focusing on yourself. Take 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever it might be. If you have the opportunity to take your shoes off and take your socks off and ground a little bit, I highly recommend that. I do it all the time. I even do it in the winter. Yes, it is true. Not every day, but I'm oftentimes find myself at one with the earth, so to speak. So I really like that message. I would encourage you guys to try to, maybe just change things up a little bit. Just be mindful that there's people out there. Even if you just take a few minutes and just watch some of the video from the interactions that they're having with members of their communities on their journey, it's really, really cool. It's because we're Virgos. You're right, Christina. That is true. It's a reminder that just there's people that are out there that are really trying to make a difference, so to speak. So again, thank you all for being here. Really, really appreciate it. So a few things that we should cover sort of immediately. There is growing tension within the Republican Party about some of the statements that the president has been making recently, and that includes, in particular, statements about Greenland. And I think what's ended up happening is that even the people in the party who are, I should say pro-Trump, are really, really not happy with his fixation on Greenland, right? And so there's been reporting. This comes from Politico. Nebraska Rep. Don Bacon is drawing a hard line in the sand over President Trump's wild Greenland fantasy, calling the push to seize the Arctic territory utter buffoonery and warning it could trigger impeachment proceedings. Speaking to the World Herald, the retiring Republican didn't mince words, declaring that a military invasion would be a disastrous idea capable of ending Trump's presidency. If he went through with the threats, I think it would be the end of his presidency, Bacon stated abruptly. So the congressman revealed brewing mutiny among GOP ranks. I'll be candid with you, he said. There are dozens of Republicans that are mad about this. So as I've discussed here, right, if the Democrats take back the House, which is likely, then we'll talk in a moment about the statements the president said about elections in the midterms. I don't want people to freak out about it. We'll talk about it in a minute. I don't necessarily want them to go after impeaching the president. I would rather have them bring in Kristi Noem and bring in Pam Bondi and focus on those kinds of things, because I would rather just what's the term? Take the legs out of the president, literally and figuratively in some cases. But why waste the time? You're still going to need a whole bunch of senators to cooperate. I think you'd be more likely inclined to get support to impeach some of the cabinet members. So that's just something to think about, that they're creating a lot of kerfuffle, right? Did I just use kerfuffle? I really did. Ignore that. Anyway, the Republicans in both the House and the Senate are thoroughly disgusted with these kinds of things. Not enough so that they wouldn't stop the war resolutions from passing, because 2 senators caved on that. But I think what you're seeing is it's getting harder and harder for them to defend it. All right, so let's so again, it's Free Speech Friday. I just be asking yourself that particular question, like, what would you walk for? Okay, and I think that's an important thing, literally or figuratively. Like in our mind, time to clean the cabinets. Yes, a little spring cleaning for the cabinets. Always be thinking about do something, right? And a couple more updates I'll have for you guys a little bit later on do something. But in the true do something spirit, it could literally be something like, I'm just going to grab a sign. I'm going to make a sign, whatever that might say. You might decide you're going to walk 5 miles across town. Maybe you've never done it before, or something like that. These little kinds of things. I think you guys are kind of getting the idea. Like, Steve, what the fuck are you talking about? Every single day it's do something. Well, this is the kind of stuff, right? This is the kind of stuff that you can do. Little things. It doesn't have to be organized. It can be disorganized. It can be ad hoc. It can be spontaneous. Little things like that. So just kind of keep that in mind, okay? All right. Okay. So let me get into a couple things here. Today, by the way, yesterday was the final day for a lot of states who had the marketplace open for ACA subsidies. So we've got an issue that's pending, which is the government shutdown. So that's coming up. So as you know, 17 House Republicans joined Democrats to extend the ACA subsidies, which means it goes to the Senate. The problem is the Senate is now on vacation. Yes, you heard that right. As of yesterday, they're on vacation for 10 days, I believe. And then the House goes on vacation. So we've got very, very limited time for the senators to do anything regarding the extension of the ACA subsidies. So people, I made my purchase already because I couldn't wait. I didn't want coverage to lapse. Good thing, because I had to spend some time at the hospital this month. But so I made my payment. Cost me $1,100 more, which is not fun for anybody. Anywho, so I know, vacation. So if you guys know the politics girl, the news girl, her name is Lisa Remillard. She did a really good breakdown on this. I'm just going to play it for you. I think you'll appreciate it. I think the ironic part about our government, that's not even ironic anymore. It's more pitiful. But they were just on their holiday vacation. There's so many things that are pending to do. Couldn't they just stick around a little bit longer and work? I guess not. So I'm just going to play this for you. This is really good sound, and it kind of covers just about everything. So here you go.
From a government shutdown. Couple things you should know. One, both the House and the Senate have recesses scheduled over the next 2 weeks. So really, there are only a few working days to pass a bill to stop the government shutdown. And two, what's happening with ICE across the country is impacting the ability of lawmakers to make a deal to stop the government shutdown from happening. So let's start with the calendar and the timing. The U.S. government is scheduled to shut down at the end of the day on January 30th. Now, that is 15 days.
Yeah, so midnight on the 30th. When they signed the CR back in November, they extended it to the end of January. Okay?
From today. For normal people. But Congress isn't normal people. As of today, the Senate is going on a 10-day recess. And right after that, the House is going to be on recess the entire last week of January.
So they overlap by a day. Senate comes back 1 day, House goes out.
Now, of course, recess schedules can change, but if this holds, that means the House will have to pass all of their funding bills during this week while the Senate is away. Then the House will leave town. And when the Senate returns here, they're going to have 4 legislative days.
So the idea being is that the House could do their work. They could agree on some of these appropriations to continue to fund the government. They'll leave. The Senate comes back. The House won't be there. So if there's any changes made to the House version, they've got to have 4 days to figure it out. So there you go.
Is to pass the exact same bills the House passed. And then President Trump will have to sign that. And then we avoid a government shutdown. But if for some reason there is a difference between what the House passes and what the Senate passes, we could see a government shutdown because the House will not be in town before that January 30th date to pass the same bill the House does.
Now, in theory, Mike Johnson could call all of his members back. So, for example, if they vote on it and there's a change to it, he absolutely could call the House back in session. He won't. They will play politics. This is what's going to happen. So there's going to be the blame game. This is going to come down to ICE funding. She's about to explain it.
Does that make sense? So that's issue 1. Now, let's move on to the other.
Again, just to recap, the Senate is on vacation now, right? They're out. They've left D.C. So you've got the ACA subsidy extension, which passed in the House. 17 Republicans voted to support it, which I think bucked the party. Mike Johnson was probably not expecting that, at least not that many. So 17 Republicans joined with Democrats. So MAGA, just listen up. And again, Republicans actually did the right thing for a change. They decided to, I don't know, help Americans with health care. Remember we went through the exercise yesterday about $500 billion to buy Greenland and how much money $500 billion would do for all of us? Well, Republicans said, maybe we should. Is it political? I don't give a fuck. They voted to extend it. Okay. So the House or the Senate is now officially on vacation, which means that no movement in the Senate. So the House has got that much time to negotiate any changes to appropriations, and then they're going to go on vacation, which means the Senate will then have 4 days when they return. So that's the timing, right? Cool.
Other issue, which is ICE. President Trump's immigration enforcement efforts across the country are causing a major divide on Capitol Hill. Of course, the government shutdown is all about funding the federal government. Without Congress passing multiple bills that approve that funding, the government shuts down. Now, since the last government shutdown, which just ended a few months ago, Congress has been moving through the process of passing several funding bills for several different government departments. No problem. But one of the funding bills that still has not passed is the funding bill for Homeland Security.
It's a very good point that a lot of the appropriations have been done through because there's 12 separate agencies, thus 12 appropriations. They all need to be voted on. That's what these continuing resolutions are addressing. And then just the budget bills in general. You have to fund all the government agencies, all the government departments, all the 12 appropriations. One outstanding, it'd be DHS.
Homeland Security is the agency that operates ICE. The Trump administration is asking Congress to approve more money for ICE so the president can continue and expand his massive nationwide ICE operation. Democrats are like, absolutely not. They say ICE does not need any more money. And furthermore, they believe lawmakers should demand that any new funding bill for ICE includes some kind of accountability for ICE and the way those officers are conducting themselves on the streets of America. Well, Republicans are like, absolutely not. So Democrats now have a choice. They can do what they did in the fall and withhold votes unless Republicans cave on ICE funding and accountability. Republicans are not going to do that. So in that case, we would absolutely see another government shutdown.
Likely.
Or what's more likely to happen is Democrats could agree to perhaps join Republicans and pass a year-long continuing resolution for just the Homeland Security part of the funding bill, which would keep funding for Homeland Security and ICE at the same level it is right now. No decrease, but also no increase. Now, let us not forget, as I have reported multiple times over the summer, Homeland Security and ICE already got a massive influx of money when the Republicans, on their own, passed President Trump's big, beautiful bill. In fact, in that bill, Republicans included the largest single increase of additional funding for Homeland Security in history. Republicans gave Homeland Security a whopping $191 billion on top of Homeland Security's regular funding levels.
So keep that in mind. Your health care was cut. SNAP benefits were cut. Medicaid, Medicare programs were cut. But ICE got a raise. They got the biggest line item budget in history, and they got an additional $191 billion. And the president is now asking for more money for ICE. I think that would, like infamously Joe Biden, don't tell me what your morals are, show me your budget. So here you go.
That's why Democrats are saying ICE and Homeland Security have enough money. By the way, that $191 billion includes $75 billion for ICE.
Specifically.
So if you are feeling right now like there are more ICE agents on the streets,
because there are.
You're right. There are. And that's because when the Republicans passed the big, beautiful bill, they gave the Department of Homeland Security all kinds of money to hire more ICE agents, to give them huge signing bonuses, to buy more ICE vehicles and technology, and to build more ICE detention facilities. So bottom line, are we going to see a government shutdown at the end of this month? Maybe.
Likely.
Maybe not.
Likely.
It's too early to tell. We'll probably know more by next week. We are just...
So, again, one of the reasons that most of us have such a disdain with Congress is things like this. You know, congressional approval rating is so poor. I think it's in the teens, right? Republicans and Democrats are both despised in Congress, right? So here we are. It's gamesmanship once again. So we don't want, and no one should want any more funding for ICE. They already got DHS in general. They got a $191 billion raise on top of the initial budget, which was already more than any point in history, including $75 billion for ICE. And now they want more money. So again, there's gonna be finger pointing. You're gonna hear, we can predict it. You're gonna hear the rhetoric from the Republicans if Democrats push back, and they're gonna go in their little safe space. You can say, see, the Democratic Party do not want your communities safe. They want your communities rampant with crime and murderers and gang members. That's what you're gonna hear. That's gonna be the rhetoric. You're gonna hear it all day, every day. The question is, again, about priorities. So hopefully they learn, the Democrats learn their lesson. Now I'm gonna go back to the last government shutdown. Remember, I remember the live that we did I got a lot of criticism, and I was fine with it because I felt like it was the right thing to do politically, because it exposed the fact that the Republicans have not had a healthcare plan. And it's proven it because they don't. We got a plan from the White House yesterday, so it exposed them. And it put them on blast because they're the ones that are going to have to answer for the fact that subsidies have increased without a solution. All right? So here we are once again. Let the right say what they're going to say. They're going to say it. But there is no denying the fact that American citizens now are being murdered in cold blood. And we've got 170 examples of U.S. citizens being detained and arrested. And we've seen, I'm gonna dunk on Kristi Noem like it's going to be great. It's going to be like ding, 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 game over. This is what we're now facing. So this is going to be political gamesmanship. Now, since there's already a budget approved amount for ICE to keep the government open, Democrats could say, okay, we're not going to vote. We're certainly not going to vote to increase any funding. This has already been approved. Maybe they'll negotiate to say, we'll continue to fund the government at the same level, including what DHS got, but the Republicans aren't going to go for that. So where's the compromise? So there's going to be the finger pointing once again. Meanwhile, the Epstein files have still not been released. We know that there's going to be a special master assigned. Thankfully, Thomas Massie and Ro Khanna got a judge involved. You're going to still have people losing their health care benefits. You're still going to see American citizens captured in the streets. So this falls squarely once again on the Republicans. They can solve this problem. They can easily say, okay, we'll agree. We'll continue to fund ICE at the same levels. And then if Democrats don't agree, then they're going to have to own that. They're not going. There's no way Republicans are going to agree to cut funding for ICE. That's not going to happen. There's no way Democrats are going to agree to increase funding for ICE. That's not going to happen. So keep that in mind. We'll continue to report on this. But the thing you need to understand right now is that 17 House Republicans joined with Democrats to vote for a 3-year extension for the ACA subsidies. It's in the Senate's hands. They left before voting on it. Okay? Keep that in mind. Then they're on vacation until I think it's 5 days before. So the 25th. They're on vacation until the 25th. The government shuts down at midnight on the 30th. Republicans in the House goes out the last day that the Senate is back. 4 days to negotiate this. 4 days. So everybody wonders why we despise Congress so much. That's why. And again, the Speaker of the House, the President of the Senate, or the Senate Majority Leader has the ability to say, you need to come back. You need to come back and do this now. Will they? I doubt it. I doubt it. All right. Speaking of ICE and Minnesota in particular, I'm going to play a series of sounds today. The first thing I want to do is I want to play some sound from Tim Walz. I want people to understand the basic truth here, what we've not probably discussed enough, and shame on me for not discussing it either. And then we're going to get into this because this is fucking wild. This whole thing started because of lies told about Minnesota, right? About how lies told about Tim Walz, lies told about the Somali community in general. Now, objectively speaking, yes, there were some examples of fraud in Minnesota connected to childcare facilities, connected to COVID-related funding. But the headliner, the ringleader, was a white woman, Amy Bach. We did the breakdown of her yesterday. She's the one. Now there were people of Somali descent that were part of that as well. But they've marginalized and demonized and blamed the entire Somali community to justify sending ICE in there. First of all, there's no question of it shouldn't be in immigration enforcement because these people are citizens. So why then would you send ICE? Why then would you send ICE there? If it's fraud you want to investigate, then that would be the Department of Justice. Oh, and by the way, members of the Department of Justice who were investigating fraud have quit because they were so disgusted that they wanted to investigate the wife of Renee Good, Becca, instead of the officer who murdered her. So the entire thing is just fucking wild. See, this is what I mean. See what I mean? This is the problem with people like, yeah, thank you. Yeah, Julian. Anyway, bye-bye. So this never would have happened to begin with, right? So now Minnesota is in the crosshairs. Everybody's saying Minnesota is the hub of all this fraud. We're going to get into that in just a minute. But I want you to hear from Tim Walz. This is a statement he made last night.
What's happening in Minnesota right now defies belief. News reports simply don't do justice to the level of chaos and disruption and trauma the federal government is raining down upon our communities. 2,000 to 3,000 armed agents of the federal government have been deployed to Minnesota. Armed, masked, undertrained ICE agents are going door to door, ordering people to point out where their neighbors of color live. They're pulling over people indiscriminately, including U.S. citizens, and demanding to see their papers. And at grocery stores, at bus stops, even at our schools, they're breaking windows, dragging pregnant women down the street, just plain grabbing Minnesotans and shoving them into unmarked vans, kidnapping innocent people with no warning and no due process. Let's be very, very clear. This long ago stopped being a matter of immigration enforcement. Instead, it's a campaign of organized brutality against the people of Minnesota by our own federal government. Last week, that campaign claimed
This is Tim Walz, governor of Minnesota.
The life of Renee Nicole Good. We've all watched the video. We've all seen what happened. And yet, instead of conducting an impartial investigation so we can hold accountable the officer responsible for Renee's death, the Trump administration is devoting the full power of the federal government to finding an excuse to attack the victim and her family.
Right.
Just yesterday, 6 federal prosecutors. My fellow Minnesotans, what's happening in Minnesota
Just yesterday, 6 federal prosecutors quit because of that. So, you know, the lies that have been told about Tim Walz has been crazy. But that's what when you have to justify, or let me rephrase this. When you want to try to deflect away from your obvious racism and white supremacy, you've got to find somebody to blame. So they'll just say, well, Tim Walz was the vice presidential candidate last year. He called us weird. He called Donald Trump a threat, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So let's blame him. That's easy to do, right? It's totally easy to do. Nothing to see here. So instead, we're going to investigate. We're going to investigate the wife of Becca Good, or her name is Becca. We're going to investigate her. So then you get people like Mark Wayne Mullen, who is another one of my little bitch boys now. I've been having a little bit of fun with Mark Wayne on his X account. Basically, you know, he's without question probably the dumbest of all the senators, and that's saying a lot. I want to play a couple of bits of sound from him. He was interviewed recently by Caitlin Collins. I'll give him credit. At least he does go to oppositional spaces, but although I wouldn't call CNN oppositional these days. But this is the conversation about the investigation in Minnesota. I just want you to listen to this, and then I'll have my commentary in just a moment.
But
I'm asking a question.
Why not have an investigation?
I'm not a prosecutor.
So why not have the investigation?
But because it's clear what took place.
Other people say it's the opposite.
What is it? What is this not clear? Is it not clear that she accelerated? Is it not clear that the officers were giving her verbal commands that she didn't listen to? Is it not clear that the vehicle hit the ICE agent? Are those not clear?
I'm just saying there's people who've watched that and they have a different conclusion than you.
Well,
so
those are people. They're the same people that was probably calling all types of ICE agents every name underneath the book prior to this incident.
Say it with me. ICE agents getting called names. Are little soft beta bitch mediocre white men at best being called names? Poor little babies.
In place too, and I'd be willing to say you could go back and look at their comments. Which at the same time, when you're a public official and you're criticizing law enforcement from doing their job, you are justifying the actions of the individuals that are out there that are obstructing them from doing their job too, and you are as guilty as they are.
What? Dude, do you understand what freedom of speech is? Do you understand what the fuck that means, my guy? A sitting United States senator says, we shouldn't we don't need to investigate. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you kidding me? We don't need to investigate? And again, there are people in this space, the TikTok space, that don't feel, we don't need to investigate. It's pretty obvious. Well, you know, if an officer's under threat, they are justified to do whatever the fuck they did. But then when you bring up J6, they're like, well, that's different. Of course it is. Again, a sitting United States senator says, we don't need to investigate. We've all seen it. That's exactly why you investigate. Because people like you, although you know exactly what happened. You know exactly what happened. Exactly what happened. And yet we don't investigate? Okay. Got it. Just want to make sure. And then just another little bit of bullshit from Mark Wayne Mullen, and we'll move on from him. Mark Wayne Mullen, who was completely against regime change of all kinds, has suddenly changed his mind. Geez, I wonder why. Let's hear Mark Wayne Mullen again, part of the same interview.
Well, as we know, the president doesn't bluff. He moves on his own time.
Unless he's being taco, he fucking bluffs all the time.
Everything that he has said, he's able to do. And I believe these will be very coordinated, direct strikes. Remember, our military is always in the position to give the president options. We knew this was a possibility, even though we're not into regime change. We're not. This isn't the Arab Spring like happened underneath Secretary Clinton. But this is the people of Iran standing up to a murderous regime. And if that leadership is going to kill their own people, the president said, we'll come to your rescue.
But you just said you are for regime change.
Yeah.
No, I said I'm for the strikes. I didn't say.
You said before that you're for taking out the regime.
Yeah, absolutely, because they're the ones murdering their own people.
Dude, that's fucking regime change, you dumbass. The United States is going to be involved in changing leadership in a country. That's regime change. So Mark, Booby, in case a member of your staff happens to be watching, because I've placed a few phone calls to your office now, haven't I, Mark? Because I think you're a little bitch. That's what I think, Mark. I think you're stupid. TikTok, educational purposes only. I don't think you're the brightest bulb on the tree, Mark. Due respect to people like, Billy Joe or whatever, but Mark Wayne, you've spent a little bit too much time in the gym, bro. You really just admitted that what you, in defending yourself saying, I don't support regime change, you were saying, I support regime change. Okay. Got it. Just making sure I understood that properly. And as a reminder, before I go too much further down this road, as we were discussing healthcare, as we were discussing the Senate being on recess and the House being on recess, the president yesterday came out with the great healthcare plan. Now, MAGA, you guys can read, well, I say you can read it. Actually, you can find the audio on the White House account and the president can tell it to you, because reading it wouldn't be I wouldn't recommend that for you guys. It's not a plan. It's just words on a page. There is no healthcare plan. Just because, I'm going to sneeze. Just because he calls it the great healthcare plan doesn't mean that there's a plan. I do my nails. Do you love them, Yorkie? I'm glad you love it. Yeah, the fact sheet. Exactly. The fact sheet. That's right. Calling on Congress to lower healthcare costs. Today, President Trump called on Congress to enact the Great Healthcare Plan, a comprehensive plan to lower drug prices, lower insurance premiums, hold big insurance companies accountable, and maximize price transparency. Great, sounds awesome, but there's no details. There's no details whatsoever. So here's my prediction: the Senate may vote on that ACA subsidy when they come back, but it would hit the president's desk. And he won't sign it because he'll say, we have a better healthcare plan. There is no plan. The Great American Healthcare Plan calls for codifying the Trump administration's most favored nation deals to get Americans the same low prices for prescription drugs that people in other countries pay. That'd be good, but that's not a healthcare plan. This would build off President Trump's landmark actions that made insulin more affordable. Actually, after Joe Biden did it, and then you wrote an executive order to change it, and then you wrote an executive order to put it back in so you could put your name on it, you narcissistic little bitch. This would be built off the president's landmark actions that made insulin more affordable in his first term, and the successful gifting suspended again. Damn it. Shit. I don't know. Let's do this one. I hate it. If you want to support the channel, you can do so through the various things. They're all at Factsstillmatter. That'd be my recommendation. The Great Healthcare Plan makes more verified, safe pharmaceutical drugs available for over-the-counter purchase. This will lower healthcare costs and increase consumers' choice by strengthening price transparency, increasing competition, and reducing the need for costly and time-consuming doctor's visits. Again, they're just words. These aren't plans. The Great American Healthcare Plan would execute the president's vision to send money directly to the American people. How much money? Is it a one-time? Is it monthly? Is it the amount of the subsidy? Where do you think people are going to get the insurance? I mean, we see, those of us here, the smartest chat on TikTok, we can see through this. It's just like, oh, they're going to send us money? Sweet. Well, you're going to have to get your money. You have to get your insurance from the insurance companies. Like, you still have to spend it. And what you guys don't know on the right is that the ACA in particular, part of the legislation requires insurance companies to still insure you if you have a pre-existing condition. So without that protection, okay, that's funny. That's really funny. That's funny. Too bad, considering I did, and it didn't go well because she was exposed. But where is she? Anyway, you can leave. Hilarious. There is no healthcare plan. These are just words. The Great American Healthcare Plan funds a cost-sharing reduction program for healthcare plans, which would save taxpayers at least $36 billion and reduce the most common Obamacare plan premiums by over 10%, according to the CBO. What? What is that? They're just words on a fucking paper. There's no healthcare plan, friends. You've been lied to. You're going to hear it all day, every day. You're going to hear it all day, every day, that the Great American Healthcare Plan, oh, Democrats been wanting a healthcare plan. Here it is. What's the plan? Ask them to explain it to you. Oh, going to give you money. How much money? Well, going to give you money. Well, how much? It's going to be money. Okay, I understand it's going to be money, but how much money? Well, it don't matter because it's going to be money. Okay, so it's going to be taxpayer-funded money that we get back to do what with? Well, it don't work that way. Well, how does it work? Well, you see, the Great American Healthcare Plan that the president wrote means that you're going to get The thing with the thing and the stuff. Cool. Don't eat lead paint. It's kind of what it feels like. You know? So just more lies. Anyway, good luck with that. Good luck with that. Appreciate you all for joining the rhetoric party. Like, continue to double down. Good morning, friend. How are you?
Hey, good morning. I just wanted to point out the fact that Medicare window has now closed already. And
Yeah,
so
as of
everyone
yesterday.
on Medicare is no longer going to be even able to get this health care plan. So I am curious what types of violations that has attached to it to make it so he can't even offer it to Medicare patients. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. Well, and also keep in mind, it's a really good point. Keep in mind that the premium increases are already set. And a lot of the premium increases that were already set was based on the fact that the ACA subsidies are going away. So even if new legislation gets passed, we're still going to be paying more. So the insurance companies are going to make their money. They're all set because they're not going to, now again, corporate plans have already been instituted. They were rolled out on January 1st, and your premium spikes have already been baked in, and you're not going to get that money back. So
yeah,
here we are.
My coverage went from $80 a month to $300. So thanks, guys. You know,
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, but we
love
can
it
buy.
for me.
Let's go buy. Yeah, let's just go buy Greenland and get more money to ICE. No
Right.
problem.
It's
Yeah,
insane.
it's fine.
Alrighty, well,
Yeah, it's
thank
fine.
you. I just wanted
Thank
to
you,
make
friend.
sure that we are thinking of people who are going to be really facing a lot of tough times with this regime and thinking
Agreed.
community, look out for your people, please. All
Agreed.
right,
I
thank you.
appreciate you. Thanks for being here, Righteous. You got to have a good day. Be safe out there. So that's the point. And again, we have to trust Congress to make these changes. Healthcare. We talked about the $500 billion yesterday that the administration, that's a conservative estimate. Some estimates have it close to $700 billion as to what it would cost to acquire Greenland, right? To acquire Greenland. $700 billion could solve hunger for 10 years in our country. We could prop up SNAP. We could prop up houselessness. We could invest in millions of homes. We could convert vacant buildings into property to help the houseless people, to get people off the street. We could fund mental health service programs. We could open community hospitals that were closed. We could open community health centers. We could subsidize premiums so that everybody's cost across the country, whether you're on the ACA or not, healthcare premiums would go down. But nope, we can't do that. We got to go buy Greenland. For national security? Is that making America great? Is that America first? Cutting mental health services? He got busted on that, but they have to put the money back in. It's a good point, though, right? $1.9 billion? $1.9 billion cut from mental health services? They got caught. They had to put it back. Is that America first? I mean, you may not agree, conservatives and MAGA, you may not agree with the concept of universal health care, but we're cutting more programs? Why? You want to just make people suffer even more? You understand that you're part of the suffering class too, correct? Okay, just want to make sure you understood that. Well, anyway, it is Free Speech Friday, friends, so I want to hear from you. We'll hear from voices today, but just be respectful. Just don't be a jerk. Jose, how are you today?
Good morning, sir. I really
Good
appreciate your
morning.
content.
Thank you.
I was just a quick comment. The gentleman that you played that was talking about the people in Minnesota, the government there, that was agreeing with what was going on, that makes them just as guilty. Well, wouldn't it make them just as guilty for trying to cover up the pedophiles?
Well, yeah. I mean, the entire administration is. We've talked about this before. How they are more concerned with protecting the people who committed these crimes against children than they are the victims themselves. That tells you a lot.
So just as he said, or the people in Minnesota that are a part of the government there that are agreeing with what people are doing, that makes them just as guilty as the people that did it. Doesn't that make them just as guilty as the people that did it with the pedophiles?
The government of Minnesota.
No, no, no. That guy who was trying to say that the government in Minnesota were going against the ICE there, just like the people were. So the people that are covering up for the pedophile, they're just as guilty as they were doing it themselves when they're trying to cover it. Not the people in Minnesota, but the government itself and at the White House.
The federal government. Gotcha. Okay.
Yes, yes,
The federal government, our federal government is not transparent, I think is your point, right?
yes,
They're not transparent. So they are attempting to blame, to distract and justify sending in federal law enforcement officers into Minnesota based on a lie.
right.
Based on an absolute lie. Yes. That's what they're doing, which tracks with the entire administration. They're just liars, flat out.
I feel so. Sometimes I'm ashamed to be even called an American because of what's going on. It breaks my heart.
Well, yeah, I don't disagree. It's embarrassing, but apparently there's 77 million people in our country that just don't care. But thanks for jumping in today, sir. I appreciate
Thank you.
Thanks for being
Thank
here.
you so very much, and God bless you.
Thanks. Same. See you. Yeah, it's a fair point, right? You know, this is the world that we live in now. We're just going to continue to be lied to by our administration. And I've got some obvious, we're going to do the real time dunking. This one of the most favorite things that I do when I get to do this show is the real time dunk on. Like when you make statements and then we're like, well, actually, no, no, that's not, first of all, that's not what you said. And we've got evidence to counter your exact point. So, case in point, let me find the one that I wanted to play for you because Kristi Noem is obviously front and center, and we're going to spend a lot of time today talking about Caroline Leavitt because she came out with some interesting statements recently in defense of this entire bullshit. And I'll remind you that Caroline Leavitt is from New Hampshire. I've got some reporting out of the state of New Hampshire as well. If you live in New England, New Hampshire, how do I put this? New Hampshire is like the back acne of New England. If you Concord South, there's blue dots everywhere. We know that. But Concord South is where the brains are. You get don't forget, Dartmouth University is an Ivy League school, is in New Hampshire. So south of Concord, that's basically suburbs of Boston. You might even say south of Manchester. But parts of New Hampshire are just fucking wild. Like if you were to drive from northern Vermont across like the tip, like just the tip. Hey now, just the tip of New Hampshire on your way to Maine, that is hardcore fucking red hat, truck nut, pterodactyl flag flying Trump country. So when I tell you this story, you'll be like, oh yeah, that fucking tracks. That tracks. So this is Kristi Noem. And I want you to listen to what she said about the question that was asked, and I want you to listen to how she responds.
Being asked on the street to provide proof of citizenship in Minnesota. Is that targeted enforcement? And are you advising Americans to carry proof of citizenship?
And are you advising American citizens to travel around the country with proof of citizenship? Okay.
Every situation, we're doing targeted enforcement. If we are on a target and doing an operation, there may be individuals surrounding that criminal that we may be asking who they are and why they're there and having them validate their identity. That's what we've always done, and asking people who they are so that we know who's in those surroundings. And if they are breaking our federal laws, we will detain them as well until we run that processing.
So yes. Your papers, please. We're the ones asking the questions. So I just want to let you know, MAGA, this applies to you as well. So of course, we know that there are varieties of people in multiple demographics who have voted with the red hats. So MAGA, if you're out walking the street and you've got your red hat on, and you might look, or even if you don't, but you might be of a bit more melanin in your skin, and you are a U.S. citizen, your family's been here for generations, you might be asked to produce your papers. Is that what you want? Is that really what you want? Again, the argument that we've heard for years is that the United States is the freest nation on earth. And are we now all supposed to travel with our papers and present our papers? For what? For what? Don't forget, still have rights in this country. You still have a Fourth Amendment right to avoid against unlawful search and seizure. You still have your Fifth Amendment rights, so you don't have to say a damn thing. You still have your First Amendment rights. You can petition the government. You can tell them to fuck you, like Kristi Noem, fuck you. Kash Patel, fuck you. Pam Bondi, fuck you. J.D. Vance, fuck you. Stephen Miller, fuck you. President Trump, fuck you too. That's my right. That's my right to do that. You can film in public. Anything you can see from public, you can film. Anything, if you are standing in public, you can film anything you see. RAS, reasonable, articulable suspicion. And now the Department of Homeland Security Secretary just said, you better have your papers. Okay. Just want to make sure that we're all on the same page, that this is the freest nation on earth. Got it. A little bit more from Kristi, because we've got a few things to talk about that she has said recently, and then we're going to get into Caroline. So here's Kristi Noem. This time you'll notice a difference when she's being pressed by when she went on with Jake Tapper. She's being called out, right? You're lying to us. You told us there was snow. You told us there was. You told us there was snow when there wasn't. You told us that there was adverse weather conditions where there weren't. You told us that she was that she rammed the ICE officer, which she didn't, and then you lied about it. And then you got challenged and you cried when you were sitting down with opposition media. Well, then when you go into your safe spaces like Fox News, your story and your tone changes. This is propaganda. Here you go.
It helps him or his party with the chaos. Do you think that there's some truth to that?
No, it's detracting from the fact that for years he's had the greatest fraud in American history happening right under his nose, and he didn't just allow it to happen. We believe, from all indications, that he was complicit in it.
Okay, so let's stop right there, because I was like, what? So all this fraud. So let's talk about that, right? There has been no evidence that Tim Walz is connected to any of this fraud. As of January the 16th, yesterday, okay, I went through, I could not find, today, I could not find anything. All right, so there is no evidence. This comes from the Department of Justice themselves. All right, no solid evidence in any court filings, DOJ press releases, mainstream reporting that Walz personally took part in the fraud, DOJ cases updates, nothing. The argument that fraud happened on his watch, this is from Minnesota Public Radio. Multiple outlets describe a pattern of fraud across programs during Walz's governorship and scrutiny over state systems to failing to prevent it. A key factual wrinkle, state officials say, they tried to stop payments, but litigation and court orders constrained them. In the Feeding Our Future program, the Minnesota courts have publicly addressed correcting media reports about what the court did or didn't order. This is often central to the debate about who could have stopped payments and when. Federal officials publicly blamed Walz politically, but that's not the same as evidence for participation. Again, the entire thing is based on lies. You're going to go on into Fox News, your safe space, and you're going to make a claim like that. I want Tim Walz to sue them. Every single one of them who make these claims that he has committed fraud. There is no evidence of it whatsoever. Whatsoever. I'm going to play the sound for you again so we can hear the entire thing from the top. Because this is what happens, right? This is where the claims come from. This is where the rhetoric comes from. This is where the anger comes from. This is why people feel like, well, see that, the biggest fucking fraud that can fraud back and blah. Nope. None. Objectively speaking, we can say, yes, there was fraud connected to this Feeding Our Future program. Amy Bach, white woman, went to jail for it, right? Meanwhile, you don't want to talk about the fraud in Mississippi, one of the biggest fraud cases in our entire nation. Brett Favre. You want to talk about Medicaid, Medicare fraud in Florida with Rick Scott, $1.8 billion. It's everywhere. If we can agree that fraud exists everywhere, then sure. But these are bold-faced fucking lies. Bold-faced fucking lies. It's not even debatable. There is absolutely no evidence connecting Tim Walz to any of this. Now, if you want to say, well, it happened when it was on his watch, then that would apply to every executive. So then the death of an American citizen is Donald Trump's fault because it happened on his watch. 35 people losing their life in ICE detention centers last year, then that's his fault because it's on his watch. Pregnant women being assaulted in ICE detention, that's on his watch. It's his fault. If that's the game you want to play, then let's play it. If you really want to play that game, if you truly cared about fraud, then you'd be like, okay, then let's have that conversation. But you don't. You don't care about fraud. You don't give a shit about it. Because if you did, you'd be like, fuck, the president's a fraudster. And he is. So back to Kristi Noem's sound.
It helps him or his party with the chaos. Do you think that there's some truth to that?
No, it's detracting from the fact that for years he's had the greatest fraud in American history happening right under his nose, and he didn't just allow it to happen. We believe, from all indications, that he was complicit in it, that he knew all about the Somalian fraud that was happening.
So what we believe? Again, you see what I mean? That's the gaslight. From what we believe. Okay. Just like Markwayne Mullin in the interview we heard earlier. Well, we saw the video. There doesn't need to be investigation because that's what I saw. Well, other people saw something different. Well, that doesn't matter. What those people saw doesn't matter, right? Cool.
Stealing from government programs and taking dollars away from the most vulnerable individuals in this country and putting it in their pockets to make them rich. So he had this fraud going on for many years. He'd love to change the conversation, trying to demonize our ICE officers.
Actually, Kristi, what he's trying to do is call out one of your employees who murdered an American citizen, and we'd like to have an investigation. That's what he's doing. That's what the rest of us are doing too.
But we're not going to. We are there. We're doubling down in Minneapolis to get to the bottom of this fraud, to make sure we bring perpetrators to justice.
Again, you're the DHS secretary. You don't have authority over fraud investigations. Why are you even talking about it? Doesn't involve you at all. Doesn't involve you at all.
And to make sure that we're doing the right thing and bringing safety to the streets.
So I take your answer to be a yes. Is that right? That you believe the chaos does help him and or his party?
Absolutely, because if you look at the mainstream press, they're helping him. They're misportraying the situation on the ground. We had an officer last night viciously attacked with weapons, 3-on-1, where his life was in danger, and he defended himself. And you see a lot of news reports out there that it was another ICE shooting. They didn't report anything about the weapons or the fact that these individuals came out of a home to beat him mercilessly.
Because, Kristi, federal law enforcement officers in general are armed. They are walking the streets. Okay? They are out there. We know with only 47 days of training, we know where you're recruiting them from. We also know that many of them aren't even ICE agents. I'm going to talk about that in just a minute. So now what you're doing, again, I want our friends on the right to understand what she is talking about is tyranny. I know you don't want to agree with that, but this is tyranny. That law enforcement officials in Trump's America are above the law. Absolute immunity. They can do whatever the fuck they want. And now Markwayne Mullin and others don't even think it's worthy of investigation. Okay.
With a shovel, and that he had to protect his own life and his colleagues that were soon coming to back him up. So absolutely, I think that this is a distraction for him. We're not going to let that happen. We're going to continue to talk about the fraud and the stealing from the American taxpayers that he has allowed to have happen in Minneapolis.
So there you go.
In the country.
Again, they don't have fraud investigative powers. They just don't. They just don't. Trump got the Nobel. Love it. Okay, cool. You guys are so stupid. All right, let me get a little bit more sound from Kristi, because this is crazy. And then we're going to get into some more of the rhetoric that's connected to it and how they're trying to justify everything that we've seen. Where is this one bit of sound? I think this is the best one yet. She's not looking good, by the way. She is not. That's what happens when lying catches up to you. It ages you quickly. So here you go. This is some more from Kristi. This is when she's being captured or caught in the press gaggle. When the due respect, but when the lighting is not right on Kristi, jump scare. Here we go.
If there are any cases in Minnesota where the ICE agents have gone too far.
Our ICE agents.
So the question was, have there been any moments in Minnesota where the ICE agents have gone too far? Okay.
Agents are following the law and running their operations according to training. Last night what we saw was 3 individuals weaponize shovels and brooms and attack an ICE officer that had to defend himself. So we're hopeful that we don't see that again, that these protesters and violent rioters will be held accountable for the actions that they're taking, and that our officers can do their work safely.
Interesting, right? So not an answer to the question. Has there been any point where any of these ICE officers have gone too far? That's interesting, right? That's really, really interesting. Okay. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. How's it going?
Okay, what's on your mind?
I don't know how much of an agreement you would be in on this, but to easily solve the ICE issue in Minnesota, all Tim Walz would have to do is just sign a couple of executive orders, constitutional carry, and the single most laxed stand your ground laws.
So you're justifying more guns? You're justifying more guns?
No, I think that if people were allowed to carry concealed without a permit, I think that I don't think the ICE agents would be around.
You're justifying more guns, man. It's not the Wild West.
No, it isn't.
It's not the Wild West. So,
No,
but that's what you're justifying.
But if you look at,
friend, listen. Just listen for a second. Okay, just listen. I know it's easy to say that, but what you're talking about is bringing more guns to a problem where we already saw an American citizen murdered.
Mm-hmm.
So I want you to think about it, right? I want you to think about what you're saying. Okay? And I know it sounds great and you feel like we can just strap up, but that's what you're supporting. Where does it stop? Bigger guns for ICE? Bigger guns for an American citizen? That's what you're talking about.
Well, I think they would refuse to stay in the state. I don't think the agents would want to.
Did you hear what I said? Did you hear what I said?
Yeah.
You are justifying bringing more guns to the fight.
Well, for citizens to protect themselves. I mean, both of us have seen tons of video footage of people being ripped out of.
So you are justifying more guns. How does that turn the temperature down? What does that do? What's your end game?
I mean, the end game is to stop the government overreach. I mean, that's why we have the Second Amendment.
No, it's not why we have the Second Amendment, actually, but that's a different conversation. The argument, and so do you really believe that the reason that we have the Second Amendment is to stand up against government tyranny?
It is part of it, is it not?
Okay, explain the treason clause.
The treason clause? I don't think I could recite it off the top of my head.
So we have a treason clause in the Constitution, which means that if you take up arms or stand up against the federal government, it would be considered treason. So why would the founding fathers put the treason clause in the Constitution if the Second Amendment was meant to rise up against a tyrannical government?
I don't know. I mean, I guess you got me there, but I'm just stating. I don't think
about it.
I don't think if I would put myself in a person, if I was to put myself in an ICE agent's shoes,
my friend,
I wouldn't.
Can you answer the question? Why would there be a treason? And by the way, do you know what the punishment for treason is?
I guess you could tell me.
It's death. It's execution.
Yeah, short drop and a sudden stop.
Well, that's the punishment for treason. Okay, so I think you've been led to believe that that's why we have the Second Amendment. That's not why we have it. That's been one of the biggest lies that has ever been told to the American public. It's not why we have it. It's not why it's there. It's why it's been changed and reinterpreted. It's not why it's there. So I want to go back to your statement specifically. You said just let open carry. So you want to bring more guns to the fight, is what you're saying.
Well, it wouldn't be open carry. Well, constitutional carry states is a permitless.
Again,
so you can conceal
I'm not getting into the argument of the debate about the semantics. This is what you're advocating for. You're advocating for bringing more guns to the fight. You can just say it. That's what you're advocating for.
Well, no, it's to hold people accountable. I mean, do you think ICE agents
hold who accountable?
Do you
hold
whoever criminals, federal overreach of federal agencies?
In what way? Hold them accountable in what way?
Do you think that like ICE agents would be like busting in?
We don't answer questions with questions. We don't answer questions with questions. In what way would we hold them accountable?
I guess if you want to put it in layman's terms, give them the exact same fear that they're putting into citizens that are doing nothing wrong but going about their daily business.
Don't citizens now already have the right to keep and bear arms?
Yes.
So again,
but it's
you have
interpreted
that.
differently depending on the states.
Once again, well, there's a federal, so your state authorizes your rights to keep and bear. It's not from the federal government. Your states give you gun rights, but specifically, what is your end game? Whether it's constitutional carry, whether it's open carry, what is your end game? Like, do you feel like ICE agents would be intimidated to be in a community if there was constitutional carry?
100%. I don't think they would treat people the way that they're treating them.
How do you know? But how do you know? How do they know that these people aren't armed now?
I would assume from the restricted gun laws that Minnesota already has.
Okay, but it doesn't inhibit somebody can still have their firearm in their home, correct?
Yes, I mean, yeah, people could still have them in the home.
Right. So again, what is your end game here? Okay, I'm trying to unpack your logic. So what is your end game? Like, do you feel like if all of a sudden if Tim Walz used executive order and said we're going to make Minnesota a constitutional carry state, do you think that's going to turn ICE away?
Who's to say? I mean, I would assume. I'm
asking you what you think. I'm asking you what you think. So you haven't even answered this question yet. Yes. What do you think?
I think they wouldn't act so. I don't know. They act in a presence that they try to put fear on American citizens in Minnesota right now.
Well, that's what they're doing. They're creating fear, right? By detaining American citizens. So again, what is the end game for you? Do you really think that ICE would just leave?
I think most of them would refuse to stay in the state. To continue that, they would probably they would probably transfer. I mean, there's over 2,000 of them in there now, right now,
close to 2,500. Or what would make sense if the American citizenry decided to arm itself based on your model? I'm just using your own words, right? You're saying that what we should do is create a situation where there's more guns, allow people to constitutionally carry, allow people to walk around publicly, whatever that would look like. So what does that do? So an American citizen sees an ICE officer detaining someone illegally, and they decide enough's enough, and they pull out their firearm and they shoot an ICE officer. And then then the partner of the ICE officer then shoots that citizen. Then another citizen across the street shoots that ICE officer, and so on and so on and so on. Have you ever thought about what escalation would look like?
Yeah.
Have you? Have you thought about what escalation would look like?
Yes.
Because that's what the federal government wants. They're already talking about the Insurrection Act. Do you know what that is?
Yeah, it'd basically bring military into Minnesota.
So game that out. If the president's talking about that now, and Tim Walz signed an executive order to make it constitutional carry, then of course that's going to justify the United States military coming in with the Insurrection Act. What do you think happens then?
Then the federal government would release their military onto the state of Minnesota.
And you're okay with that?
No, I'm not okay with that. No, I'm.
So then there's no, so you don't have a solution,
of my viewpoints. Most of my viewpoints are libertarian. I'm extremely against big government and this horrendous overreach of what ICE is doing, especially in a state of Minnesota of all of states. It's not even top 15.
Right. You're right. So you're a libertarian. Who did you vote for in 2024?
In 24, I voted for Chase Oliver. I know people are going to say my vote was wasted.
No, it's again. I would just like to. I'm gonna test a theory out on you. Right? Are you familiar with the concept of harm reduction?
No.
Okay. So harm reduction in politics, right, is you have to look at the scenario. You can't necessarily say, well, I'm a libertarian, therefore I'm going to vote for the libertarian candidate. You know that your vote for Chase Oliver helped put Donald Trump in the White House. Can you accept that?
I mean, yeah. I can understand it that way.
Okay, so harm reduction means, listen, there's no way as a libertarian, because I speak to a lot of libertarians. I think they're fake libertarians because they voted for Trump. There's no way in fucking hell a true libertarian would ever vote for Donald Trump. Okay. So
no, I agree with that. I agree with that.
Oh, right. Exactly. So the concept of harm reduction says, all right, I care about my country. I care about the freedoms. I may not agree with everything from the left. I certainly don't agree with things from the right, but there's only one real solution now to try to turn down the temperature or to try to protect the rights of others or to defend my rights. And the only way to do that from a harm reduction perspective is for me to vote for the Democrat. That's what harm reduction is politically. Okay? So could I ask you a favor?
Mm-hmm.
When you are presented with a situation again, and you are presented with two major options, and I'm going to finish my point in just a moment. I understand right now there are really only two choices, which is a part of the problem. It's Republican or Democrat. Which party do you believe is better for everyone in our country?
Right now, I would 100% say Democrat. Like if you had to pick either Democrat or Republican, I would definitely say Democrats.
Okay, so then that would be your vote. Harm reduction.
Yeah.
So can you vote for Democrats in the midterm?
Well, yeah, I have, and not that I've only ever voted like libertarian. Like I've voted for the this previous election for like my local election. I voted for a Democrat because she was a better option than the guy. I'm sorry, I don't want to like say names and like dox myself.
It's all right. Doesn't matter. You're not going to dox yourself. Don't worry. It's okay.
She was a better candidate. She was a better candidate than the other guy. I mean, he was just some
right.
Yeah. I don't want to get into it, but yeah.
Okay. So then that's what harm reduction would look like. You know, because people, I think what people, it's funny because I tend to be a left-leaning libertarian because I don't want government overreach, but I'm much more left ideologically. I'm a progressive, right? So I believe in pushing society forward. Right.
Yeah,
so,
I believe in like free healthcare. Like I have like I'm very blessed to have like 100% of my health benefits paid for by my union for me and my family. But like it irritates me to see other people like struggle. My neighbor she has terrible back issues. Her medicine costs $900 a week. My wife's best friend needs the medication that she needs to take is like $400 a week. It's like, and they can't afford it. And that irritates me. It's like, I pay a ton in taxes and it's like, why can't this money go to them? Like we should want each other to do better and be better.
You're a leftist, my guy.
I know I'm preaching to the choir. I don't know if you remember me. Sorry to get sidetracked. I don't know if you remember me. I think it was like a month or so ago. You, me, and a mutual friend of yours, we were just puppy kicking some like MAGA cultist and alive. And I was like, this guy's very well spoken. I'm going to follow him. So I've caught some of your morning.
I appreciate that. Well, thanks. So, I mean, again, we have to stop. I mean, I respect if you're consistent with your views. And again, I'm not going to unpack this all morning, but that's what harm reduction would be, right? Because I think part of the reckoning that we have to have for a lot of libertarians and a lot of people who just checked out was your lack of voting for Kamala Harris helped put Donald Trump in the White House. You have to own that. All right. You got to own that. That's part of the reckoning. So going forward, right, you have to decide, okay, I'm a libertarian. I want to support the libertarian candidate. I don't believe in big government overreach. I don't believe in this, but I also understand. I'll say this to you and then I'm going to move on. I look at the Democratic Party as public transportation, meaning I'm not going to get all the way home, but I'm willing to hop on that bus and I'll walk the rest of the way. That's what I'm asking you to consider.
That's a great analogy. Like a very good analogy.
So that's what I'm asking for. Stick to your libertarian tendencies, push back against, government overreach, but understand in our system right now, we've got to get people in charge that are not going to send federal masked thugs around the streets of American cities. And don't forget, Chase Oliver is not going to be able to do that because he's not going to win. Okay? So do you think, I'm not going to put you on blast, but I'm asking you if you could really reconsider your vote in the midterms and participate by voting for people who at least will harm us less. Can you do that?
Yeah, of course.
I appreciate that. Thanks for jumping in today. Okay?
Yeah, of course.
Thanks a lot. Have a good Friday. See you later. All right, take care. There you go. Test drive of do something. Okay. I'm going to got a lot of folks that requested. I may not get to everybody today, friends. I'll do my best. We have a lot to cover, but it is Free Speech Friday, so I want to hear from as many of you as possible. HR, how you doing? Oh, HR? Okay. I don't want to. I should have said, please make sure you're voting for a Democrat. Please. Yeah, exactly. Hey,
Good
Coach.
morning.
How are you, friend?
Hey, how are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
We've been better, but we're doing all right as well. I just wanted to bring some attention really quick to a couple things happening in Utah for anybody who's here. The first one is the new bill proposed by Senator Lee. He has put in HB 183, which is to permanently ban gender affirming care for minors. But part of that is that the custody judges here in Utah are to look more favorably and vote in favor of parents who disagree or are anti-trans rights in favor of awarding custody. So that's kind of a big addition to that bill that I'm watching very closely, as you know, because of my situation. And then the other thing that's really alarming that's going on is they're trying to rename, welcome to Utah, they're trying to rename Harvey Milk Boulevard to Charlie Kirk Boulevard. So a couple of things that are on the radar.
My God.
Yeah, they're trying to basically, the queer community here in Utah are under attack, and it's really, Iris and I have almost completely gone into hiding because we need to be alive for our kids. And that's our way of showing resistance right now. So, but, I think it's important to get on and bring awareness to this kind of thing. It's not a national issue, and I am 100% with the people of Minnesota. And, Renee Good was one of our communities. So we're feeling it. So, but
Indeed.
The other thing I wanted to tell you is, did you drink your water today?
Yeah. Got it. It's right here.
Good. And then remember, everybody, Steve is on here to help us all. Link just saw that I'm talking to you. He says hi, by the way. But so send him our gifts. You guys, let's support him. Tapping is clapping, sharing is caring, and let's help get our Steve's goal met. So that was all.
Thank you, friend. I appreciate you. I love you.
Yeah, love you.
Say hi to everybody for us, okay?
I will.
Love you too. See you later. Take care. All right. Bye.
Bye.
Yep. No notes. I mean, the exercise that we just went through with our previous guest, I think that's kind of the impetus for me when I go out and talk to people, right? Like, I've had really good conversations with libertarian, and I'm a left-leaning libertarian. I'm a far left-leaning libertarian, but I don't believe in government overreach, right? I don't believe in big government. I just believe in government prioritizing the things that it should prioritize, like healthcare, like public education, like women's rights to their body, shocker, like the protection of marginalized communities, like a social safety net. It's just about it's about your priorities, right? So I tend to be, I know I'm a progressive. I go back and forth on this. I'm like a nihilistic, pragmatic progressive, right? Like the system is not working as it needs to. So yes, tear it all down. But I also know at the same time that if we tear it all down, marginalized communities are going to be the ones that are going to be impacted the hardest. They already are under perfect conditions. So that's where the pragmatist comes in. Like, okay, yes, I understand that I want to get progressives elected to federal office, but to do so, I need to change the system because the DNC is not going to help support progressives. They're going to stick with their moderate cash cow Democrats. So there you go. So basically, I'm a lost cause, but at the same time, I know what I want to see. So I've got a couple more things I want to play here for you. This is Christina. I promise I'll get to you guys. Okay. Thank you, Sam. Appreciate that. All right. So, friends, just a quick note. Free Speech Friday is great, but we have a general rule here that unless we can corroborate something in advance, we would just ask that people not make something as a claim. Like we can say from what I've read or something I read, can we unpack that? But I just don't want things to be like definitive. At least give us a chance. At least give us a chance to verify first. That's all I ask. All right, so I'm going to play some more sound from Kristi Noem here. Hang on one second. Let me just reset this. All right, here we go.
I describe it as violent. And
the question was about whether or not the president should authorize the Insurrection Act. Now, he might be gaming it. He might be just using it as rhetoric. He might be using it as justification for whatever. But that's what she's talking about here, and I'll be right back.
I describe it as violent and a violation of the law in many places. I discussed with the president this morning several things that we are dealing with under the department and different operations. We did discuss the Insurrection Act. He certainly has the constitutional authority to utilize that. My hope is that this leadership
Sorry about that. Anyway, yeah, I know, no audio. That was me. Okay, so BT Dubs, there is a group of people, we'll call them the Minnesota All-Star Choir, who did a sing-along for Kristi Noem. I'm not sure if you heard this. It sounds a little bit hard to hear, but I'm going to play it for you because I think it's fucking brilliant. And then we're going to dunk on Kristi in just a moment. Here you go. Yeah, I think you heard that, right? So one of the things also that Kristi's been talking about recently is, let's see if I've got the other sound, because there's one more bit of sound that I want to play for you that I think is relevant for this part of the conversation, because we're going to dunk on her. I played that. That's the Insurrection Act sound. She referenced Louisiana. She's saying it's no different than what we've done in Louisiana. Well, you're wrong about that for a variety of reasons. The first has to do with this escalation. So I did a little bit of research into ICE in Louisiana, and here's the breakdown. All right. Hang on one second. Minnesota is currently the site of Operation Metro Surge, with nearly 2,400 ICE officers on the ground in Minnesota, compared to Louisiana, which was 200. So to make the argument that it's the same, like we did the same thing in Louisiana that we're doing now, is complete fucking bullshit. Minnesota is currently the site of Operation Metro Surge, described by the Department of Homeland Security as the largest immigration enforcement operation ever carried out by the agency. So how funny is it that Kristi Noem wants to say, well, it's no different than what we did in Louisiana? Well, you're wrong about that. First of all, you're bragging that it's the largest immigration enforcement operation ever carried out in Minnesota, and yet you're trying to say it's exactly the same as it was in Louisiana? Nope. The operation has included widespread street stops, targeted raids, arrests of people suspected of immigration violations, and alleged criminal offenses. DHS has publicly highlighted that many arrestees have serious criminal histories, including violent and drug-related offenses, although we don't know. Minnesota has seen violent encounters between federal agents and civilians, including at least one fatal shooting by an ICE agent. Now it's likely two, that has sparked major protests across the state. In Louisiana, by comparison, Louisiana recently hosted a substantial but smaller federal immigration investigation, including 200 federal immigration officers. So is that the same? Like we discussed yesterday, not samesies. Not samesies. Not even close. Okay? Not even close. All right, got a few folks who are requesting. It is Free Speech Friday. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you all. You want to support the channel, you can do so. I think gifting has been suspended. I don't even know why. I give up. You want to support the channel, you can do so at the various things that exist out there at Factsstillmatter. In fact, let me think right now. Hang on one second. Savage, thank you so much for your contribution as always. I really appreciate you. Angela, thank you so much. Angela gives the heart. Thank you, Angela. Love you too. Amy, thank you so very, very much. Appreciate you. That's the $2 train. The train has left the tracks. I appreciate you guys. Let me fix this real quick. There we go. All right. Okay, a little bit more sound here for you guys, because something I really want to address, because they talk about training and they talk about ICE agents following the law. You've heard Kristi Noem say that. Really? We've heard that numerous times, that ICE agents are following the law. Okay, so let's do a little bit of a little history check on that, or a little fact check on that. In January, an ICE agent shot and killed Brene Good. I don't know if that's following the law, because I don't see any law where that gave any sort of justification. We talked about the rules of force. We've talked about DOJ policies around the use of force. We've talked about how the DHS use of force policy mirrors it exactly. All right. This was earlier this last year. Again, if ICE is following the law, really, U.S. federal judge ruled that ICE agents violated a judicially approved consent decree by conducting warrantless arrests into the Chicago area, holding that these actions were unlawful. This came from Chicago, ABC News 7 in Chicago. This ruling reflects a legal accountability mechanism where a court found specific enforcement tactics violated constitutional and court-mandated restrictions, an important marker of oversight. Is that following the law? Nope. ICE-related arrest ordered illegal and released. Minnesota, early 2026. A federal judge ordered the release of a man, Garrison Gibson, a Liberian immigrant who was arrested by immigration agents using a battering ram without a judicial warrant. The judge ruled the arrest violated the Fourth Amendment. Interesting. An indictment of an ICE supervisor in civilian assault. This was in Ohio in December. In December, a supervisor with ICE in Cincinnati was indicted on federal charges, including felonious assault, strangulation, and domestic violence unrelated to official duties. This is an example of an ICE official facing criminal charges for off-duty conduct harming another person. Interesting. Lawsuits over ICE tactics. Following the Minneapolis death and other incidences, civil rights lawsuits were filed alleging racial profiling and unconstitutional use of force against communities in Minnesota. Lawmakers in Maryland introduced a bill, the Icebreaker Act of 2026, aimed at restricting individuals hired into ICE after January 20th from certain state law enforcement roles, reflecting legislative responses tied to concerns about conduct. Also, Silverio Villegas Gonzalez was shot and killed by an ICE officer near Chicago in September. The circumstances were contested and widely covered as another deadly encounter during enforcement operations. These incidences, while not necessarily resulting in criminal charges against the agent, are significant because they are documented uses of lethal force that raise legal and public scrutiny. Once again, the claim that they continue to make is that ICE is just following the law. Okay, I've got some more for you. Let me see. In Houston, Texas, a 58-year-old church safety director was arrested for posing as an ICE agent to extort money from a woman and he threatened in deportation. In Houston, Texas, a man posing as an ICE agent allegedly blocked another driver's vehicle claimed to be ICE and robbed him of cash and his ID. Interesting. Temple University students face charges for fake ICE raid. Philadelphia, in February of last year, a student and accomplices impersonated ICE officers wearing shirts labeled police and ICE and attempted to enter a residence hall. He was arrested and charged with impersonating a public servant and suspended from the university. Raleigh, North Carolina, a man was arrested for impersonating an ICE agent and allegedly sexually assaulted a woman while threatening deportation. He was charged with kidnapping and second-degree rape in addition to impersonation. Now, you wonder why women might feel threatened when a masked agent approaches their car? See, this is what the mainstream media is fucking failing miserably on. Legacy media is not talking about this shit as to why people would feel afraid. But yet ICE is following the law, right? Okay, cool. Sullivan's Island, South Carolina, a man impersonated ICE to harass a Latino man, including trapping them with his vehicle and threatening deportation. He was charged with kidnapping. Indiantown, Florida. An individual performed a fake traffic stop, asked the drivers for immigration status, and then threatened deportation, later charged with impersonating a federal agent. In Philadelphia, 2 men attempted to enter a dorm and business while claiming to be ICE. 1 arrested. Brooklyn, New York, Fresno, California, Sacramento, California. Multiple arrests for impersonation while confronting or detaining civilians, sometimes with tactical gear. And then Fife, Washington, a fake ICE patrol vehicle with markings resembling ICE equipment was used to intimidate people. Officers were investigated. But nothing to see here, right? Nothing to see here. That's totally fine. But ICE is following the law. Numerous violations of Fourth Amendment rights. Is it following the law? Is it following the law to detain a U.S. citizen? No, it's not. No, it's not. But again, nothing to see here. And why is the legacy media not talking about that shit? Why are they not talking about dozens of examples of impersonation? People have been charged and in some cases convicted, sexually assaulting women, kidnapping them, saying that they are federal law enforcement agencies. Why are they not talking about that at all? And by the way, where the fuck is the legacy media confronting them on this shit? Why not? Why are they not being asked that question? Why was Kristi Noem not asked? We've got dozens of examples of people impersonating ICE officers. Do you understand what's happening? How would we know? How would anyone know? How would anyone know? Based on all this information, doesn't Renee Good have justifiable reason to be very fearful for what was happening? How would anyone know? They're not identifying themselves. How would anybody fucking know that shit? The answer is we don't, because they're masked thugs, which is the fucking Gestapo. Plain and fucking simple. Plain and fucking simple. Hi, Jen.
Good morning. So for my Free Speech Friday, I just wanted to say how sick and tired I am of people in the government protecting the people of Iran and all this shit, and they're not even protecting the American citizens. They're not protecting the protesters, and they sure as shit aren't protecting our military, right? They're so eager and quick to send our men and women out when they themselves are fucking wieners and they never even served themselves, Captain Bonespurs himself. Yeah, and I would really like for once for one of these people to say, we're going to protect our men and women in service because we're not going to be the ones to send them out so quickly because they just don't care. That's, protecting the people of Iran. Okay, maybe I can get on board with it, but not when you're unaliving American citizens and willing to send our men and women out to fight for something that we're not supposed to even be involved in.
Right. I think it's part of the hypocrisy when the president came out the other day and said, I support the protesters in Iran, but not in the United States.
Correct.
Wow. That's a wild flex. Thank you, friend. I appreciate you very, very much.
All
Thanks
right.
a lot. Have a good day. Be safe out there. All right. Take care. All right. See ya. It's a great point. So again, is it America first? And it's crazy to me that you'll see there's certain hosts here who are just trolls. They'll say things like, I think protesters should absolutely be taken down and they don't have a right to protest against American law enforcement, blah, fucking blah. And then then that night, the president comes out with his statement saying he supports Iranian protesters. And then the next day, those people are like, you see, the president supports Iranian protesters. And I'm like, all right, what? What the fuck are you talking about? Literally, you guys are justifying American protesters being gunned down in cold blood. But it's fine for Iranian protesters? Like, what? Okay, I guess. Okay. Whatever. Outsider, how are you today?
Good morning. I'd like to speak out against all of the people that just sold their soul. People that are within marginalized groups like women, people of color, Hispanic people.
Well, let's speak for women. So are you a white woman?
I am this is what I call myself. I'm a white presenting Hispanic woman.
Okay, so let's speak to your communities. Okay, let's talk about your communities. So calling out your communities. How about that? Yeah. Deal?
Okay. So if you are a woman of any color, I don't understand how you could support a regime that has turned you into a tool. And they've taken away your rights. They've taken away your voice. And they have turned you into a tool. You are nothing. They have said it to you. And yet you can support this person and these people and say that they're for you. And I'm so disappointed in women as a whole. I feel like I hold women to a higher standard, and they have disappointed me greatly.
Yeah, I get it. There's a lot to unpack there. Internalized misogyny, connection to whiteness, preservation of hierarchy, all those kinds of things. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you.
So I encourage women to please open your eyes. Take a look around, because they're doing it to you, to your children. You're not exempt. I don't care what color you are. You are not exempt. And it is up to us to step forward and stop a lot of what's happening.
Thanks for jumping in today. I appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Be safe out there. I do care what color you are. I think that's an important distinction. But just real quick, I just want to remind folks of a few things. I just want to, because again, there's so many people that are posing as ICE officers, and why has that not been addressed? I mean, there are dozens of examples of the things that I just read to you. I mean, young men, again, mediocre at best on their best day, young men going and buying their cosplay gear from wherever, strapping up, masking up, just like a federal law, just like an ICE agent, and they are kidnapping in some cases, being found guilty of being convicted for sexual assault. I mean, why has that not been addressed? So here's a little checklist that I got for you. How to verify someone is actually an ICE agent in the moment. Ask for ID and don't be rushed. Real ICE agents should be able to show a DHS, an ICE badge, or official credentials or a photo ID. If they refuse to show credentials or flash something too quickly, that should be a red flag, right? Ask what agency are you with specifically. Legit agents should clearly say something like, I'm with ICE, or I'm HSI, which is Homeland Security Investigator, or ERO, which is Enforcement and Removal Operations, or I'm part of DHS. If their answers are vague, like immigration or the government or federal police, that's a red flag. Ask for a business card and or a supervisor contact. A real agent can usually provide a name, a field office, a phone number, or a supervisor's name. The red flag would be they won't provide any traceable information. If they claim they have a warrant, ask to see it. There are different types of warrants, and this matters. A real judicial warrant usually has a judge's name or a signature, a court listed, and your correct name or address. Common red flag. I sometimes use it as it uses an administrative form, which is not signed by a judge. If it's not signed by a judge, it may not allow entry into a home without consent. Don't open the door just because they say ICE. You can speak through the door and say, slide the warrant under the door, hold it up to the window. If they're legitimate, they can still communicate without forcing you into a risky situation. Big warning signs of a fake ICE officer. Be extra suspicious if they demand cash, gift cards, Venmo, or a fee to avoid deportation. Threaten to pay now or we will arrest you. Refuse to show an ID. Wear random tactical gear with no clear agency markings. Use a personal vehicle with fake lights or decals. Ask for a social security number, banking info, passwords, or try to separate someone or force them into a car quickly. What do you do if you suspect an ICE imposter? Get to safety. Don't argue. Don't physically resist. Create distance. Get inside a public place if you can. Call 911. Say something like this. I believe someone is impersonating a federal officer or ICE. Document it safely. If you can, record faces, clothing or patches, vehicle plates, location or time, exact words used. Report it to federal authorities, I guess. You can report impersonations to the FBI tip line, DHS office, or the Inspector General. Here's a quick script. Through the door, from a safe distance. Quote, show your credentials clearly. What agency are you with? What's your name and your badge number? Do you have a judicial warrant signed by a judge? Slide it under the door or hold it to the window. If they won't comply, I'm calling 911 to verify you're legitimate. These are things that, sadly, that we now have to do because Kristi Noem says that if you're walking around the streets of America as an American citizen, you have to have your papers. We've got, again, dozens of examples of people impersonating ICE agents. We know where they're being recruited to. We know that they have some tendencies that may not necessarily align with the melting pot that is America. You've got to protect yourself, okay? You've got to protect yourself. There are things that we all can do. You have a right to film in public. You have a right to protest. You have a right to stick up your middle finger if you want to. You have a right to do all these things that, again, MAGA conservatives would always stand constitutionally. You do not have to open your door. You do not have to get out of your car. They need to provide you with reasonable, articulable suspicion. They are the ones that are escalating this. Renee Good would be alive today if ICE was not in Minneapolis based on fucking lies. Period. Full stop. Okay. Everybody keep tapping, please. Real quick, let me thank a couple people. I'll get that in a minute. Anthony, how are you today?
I'm good. How's it going?
Anthony? Fine. What's on your mind?
No, none. I actually was just scrolling through and I didn't mean to hit the request button. And then I requested.
No problem.
But yeah.
No problem.
I'm here. So sorry, I'm chewing some beef jerky. Give me a second here. But yeah, I was listening to some of the previous conversations and then I had to run into the store. But yeah, the whole ICE thing, yeah, I mean, what do you think is based on lies in Minnesota? I mean, let's just start there because there's a lot to unpack with what you said. So
why do I think it's based on lies?
Yeah.
Because it is based on lies. Because they're trying to say that Tim Walz was part of this cover-up, and there's absolutely no evidence to support that at all.
They were there long before this Somali fraud thing, so I don't know what your basis on that is.
No, you're the one. So do you believe that there's fraud in Minnesota?
I don't know. Are there any official investigative reports coming out? I mean, there's definitely evidence pointing in that direction. So when we get the official investigative reports back, if they're in the middle of investigating
from whom, though? Okay, but who's investigating it?
FBI.
So the Kash Patel FBI.
But now the FBI is not legitimate because Kash Patel is running it. What does that mean?
Anthony, let's unpack that a second. Okay, let's unpack that a second.
Uh-huh.
Do you believe the investigations into Donald Trump during the Biden administration were legitimate?
I think the initial investigation, maybe they initially thought that there might have been something going on there, but then when things didn't go their way, then it kind of turned corrupted. But that's
okay. So
the thing is that's not the same.
Wait. So
that's not the same thing on what we're talking about now.
Wait, Anthony, hang on a second. That's not the question I asked you. I asked you is because we're talking about legitimacy. I'm asking you if you felt investigations into Donald Trump under the Biden administration, or today during the Biden administration, do you think that they were legitimate?
How does this pertain to the investigation in the Somali fraud
Anthony,
case?
can you, my guy, can you answer the question, please? I'm just asking you to answer the question. That's all. I'm just asking you to answer the question.
So you're going to use my question based upon legitimizing your claims that the Kash Patel FBI is not legitimate.
No, I'm looking for consistency. That's all I'm looking for. That's all I'm looking for. Okay? Because the investigation into this fraud in Minneapolis is now directed by the Trump Department of Justice. You believe it's legitimate. So I am asking you if you felt
the FBI didn't find anything on Trump.
Anthony,
and that's why they had to hold a hearing in New York City.
Anthony, I need you just to stop talking for a second and answer my question. It's Free Speech Friday.
I'm answering.
I'm going to give you a place to talk. You haven't answered yet, okay? It's a simple question, okay? Do you think because we're talking about the FBI, you believe that it's legitimate that the Kash Patel FBI is investigating. So I'm asking you now if during the Biden administration, investigations into Donald Trump, do you believe they were legitimate? Yes or no? It's really simple.
Sure.
You think they're legitimate?
But it depends on what are you calling legitimate? What investigation? Because the FBI has sovereignty as an agency to investigate what they feel.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't have sovereignty.
Yes, they do.
It doesn't have sovereignty.
Yes, they do.
No, that's not sovereignty.
Yes, they do.
That's not sovereign. That's not.
They're their own
that's not
entity.
what
The
sovereignty
government
would
does
be.
not have sway over the FBI. The FBI,
The government doesn't have sway
all
over
the three-letter agencies are
all
all
Jack
independent.
Smith. They are. Okay, so cool. So Donald Trump telling Pam Bondi to investigate James Comey and Letitia James? That doesn't sound independent, does it?
The president can compel them to start investigations into whatever.
You just said, wait. You just said they were independent, but you just said they were independent.
It's not an order. He can't order them to do that. He can compel them and say, "Hey, we need to get this going." So,
but you just said they were independent, man.
They are independent.
So here's my point. So like Jack Smith's investigation.
But here's my point. You're trying to make a point based upon what I said that they're independent. You know they're independent. And just because Trump says, "Hey, we need to look into this," and then you're over here going to try to twist and spin this to where because now Trump says, "Look into this. Let's create an investigation," and you're going to use that as what as a gotcha because Biden did the same fucking thing.
I'm only asking you to be consistent.
I am being consistent.
So you believe that. So let me ask you a different question. You believe the investigation under the Pam Bondi, Kash Patel FBI into Minnesota is legitimate?
Yeah. Well, why wouldn't it be?
Do you see what I mean? This is confirmation bias, Anthony. Let me tell you why it's confirmation bias, okay?
I just said the investigation for Trump was legitimate too, but now you're going to, so what? You're just going to ignore that?
No, but you added conditions to it, man. You added conditions.
I didn't add conditions. So you're adding them. You're the one trying to skew information.
Okay. So then the indictments into Donald Trump based on these investigations were legitimate, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Donald Trump's convictions, 34-time felony conviction, those are legitimate, right?
That has nothing to do with the investigations. That was all court.
It does. They're all investigations.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Because if they went through the true investigative reports, that's why the court was just pulling strings. They couldn't find all the damning information, so they had to bring in false witnesses. That's a whole different ballgame. But it has nothing to do with the investigation.
It actually does. It actually does. Because
it doesn't.
Anthony, you have to stop, my guy. You got to stop interrupting me, or I'm just going to kick you because it's not fair.
I'm just responding to you.
Don't interrupt me. Well, no. Responding to me would be when I ask you a question. That would be responding. Okay. First of all, if the point of this exercise, Anthony, is to point out your own hypocrisy, right? Because you support, obviously, you're a Trump voter. You support the investigations into Minneapolis and into Minnesota, and you support it, and you'll take the word of Kash Patel and Pam Bondi and Kristi Noem. So the question then becomes, if you're going to be consistent, if you want to say that you believe the Department of Justice, then you also have to believe the Department of Justice during the Biden administration. Otherwise, you're a hypocrite. So investigations into Donald Trump when Joe Biden was the president under the Biden administration, if we're using your logic, would be completely legitimate. And you're not willing to say that.
I just did. I said it was legitimate. The investigation was legitimate.
Right.
How about that?
Okay. So the investigation.
So now the thing is, now you got to break down. You got to break down what you're considering legitimate.
Anthony,
so what is your meaning of legitimacy?
A legitimate investigation.
Okay, so
based on evidence.
It's not based. An investigation is not based on evidence. It is based on probable cause.
Sure, it is. That's why you investigate.
They get evidence
of a crime.
They get evidence from the investigation.
So Tom Homan, for example. So Tom Homan. There was an investigation during the Biden administration. They have video and audio of him accepting a $50,000 bribe. Do you think that is legitimate and real?
Tom Homan received a $50,000 bribe. Is that what you're saying?
Correct. Well, that's the allegation. Wait a minute. Let me rephrase. That's the allegation. So there was reporting. There was evidence that was presented that Tom Homan took a $50,000 bribe during the Biden administration. There was an investigation done. It's a sting operation by the Department of Justice. They have evidence of this. Apparently there's video and audio. When the Trump administration came into power, they said case dismissed. So do you believe that investigation into Tom Homan was legitimate?
Sure.
Okay. So then why would the Trump administration then just bury it?
See, now you're confusing an
Can you
investigation
answer
with
the question, man? Anthony, answer the question. Why would the Trump
what question am I
administration bury
answering?
it then? Why did the Trump administration bury it?
Maybe the investigation was under false pretenses. I don't know.
And you just proved my point. Thank you very much. Have a good day. Oh my God. Oh my God. Coulda, shoulda, woulda, maybe. Coulda, shoulda, woulda, maybe. Kinda, sorta, coulda, shoulda, woulda. Coulda, shoulda, woulda, maybe. Just be consistent. Just be consistent. That's all we're asking for. Linux, how are you today?
I'm good.
Linux,
How are you doing?
You're on. Fine, thank you. What's on your mind?
So, yeah, actually, can I ask you a question? Is really what I wanted to see
Sure,
if I could ask.
You've got some background noise though. Can you turn that off? I'm not sure what it
Yeah,
is.
yeah. I
turn
just
it off
left. I just left. I just left the room. Is that better?
That's better. Thank you.
So, I was thinking about Trump's ridiculous claims about wanting to refuse funding to blue states, right? And how like when states become states, right? It's almost like a contract between the people in the state and the federal government, basically saying, hey, the state, as a state, we give you our resources to contribute to the overall good of the country. You support us, right? If we need it, that kind of thing. So if he refuses funding, isn't that sort of like a breach of contract? Like, shouldn't the blue states be able to say, hey, wait a second, you've breached the contract of becoming a state, and, we don't have to give you funding,
Well, I don't know if it's a breach of contract, but that's where the supremacy clause comes into play. You pay into the federal government, and the expectation is that federal programs then becoming funded. So it's a violation of the law. I mean, ultimately, I don't know if it's a breach of contract necessarily, but it seems like it's a violation of federal law.
Yeah, I'm just using that terminology. I don't literally mean breach of contract, but in a sense, like the same sort of because like I said, you have that, like you said, that conditions between the states, the states provide funding, the federal government spreads that funding out between all the other states to make sure everybody's taken care of. It just seems if I live in Colorado, and if I really hope my governor comes out and sues or something, right? Because to me, it breach of contract might be the wrong terminology, but nuts and bolts, that's kind of what it is for him to say, hey, we're not going to give you funding for childcare now, and now we're threatening all of funding. I'm fortunate in the fact that I don't rely on any of that, but
No, you do.
Yeah, I get. We all do. I do. No, we all do. I get the roads, all that. I'm saying though, the more direct contributions and stuff like that. I'm fortunate enough to where, yeah.
What would be a direct contribution? Help me understand what that
benefits, social services, that sort of thing. Mostly,
you do benefit though. You do benefit.
Oh, I do. I benefit as a whole for sure.
Yeah. But you benefit from it. So
definitely. I benefit from the federal government and the state government entirely. I mean,
right.
You know what I'm saying? And once again, to simplify it, it's a contract between me and the state and federal government, as far as me doing my part, them doing their part. And it's not just for me, it's for the whole of the nation. Right. Like if I,
right. But do you get a paycheck?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
What's FICA?
Oh, I don't know all the terms, but is that the I don't know which one FICA is, but
it's part of your contribution to your retirement, Social Security.
Yeah. Social Security. Okay,
So you do directly
benefit. Yes. Yeah, you're correct. No, and I didn't mean it like that. But my only point in it was that, like I said, I right now, like I live in a very impoverished county in Colorado, probably one of the most impoverished in the country. Okay. And I'm seeing like people going hungry and trying to do everything I can, buying extra so we can give out to people we know and stuff like that. But I mean, literally, it's hitting hard in the impoverished parts of this country. You know what I mean? It really is. And I live in a blue state, right? And I see what people are going through, and it breaks my heart. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it's like, I don't know what we do as a country. I mean, I look at the people around me. I'm raising my grandkids right now, so I try to raise them to understand and know that, you got to care for your fellow people. You take care of everyone, but it's killing me. It literally is killing me. Yeah.
Are you a voter?
Oh yeah,
Are you a
definitely.
voter?
Harris, blue all the way around. I voted against Boebert twice when she was in my district, just to let you know what district I come from.
Gotcha. Yeah, I get that. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, your heart's in the right place, but the way that people on the left tend to, thank you, Sam. People on the left tend to vote for others. So like you're not just voting for your grandchildren. You're also voting for your neighbors.
Definitely.
You're voting for people that you don't know. You're voting for people that you'll never meet. You're voting for my daughter, who you don't know. And I'm voting for your grandchildren.
Yeah,
That's what this is about, right?
Definitely.
So we have to keep this in mind. So make sure that you understand that yes, taxation without representation is criminal. It's almost like the founding of our nation, right? So keep that in mind, okay?
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Thank you.
I appreciate it. Thanks for jumping in today, friend. Thanks for being here. Have a good day. Be safe out there. Also want to just make sure, friends, we got those of you over on YouTube, my apologies for not mentioning this sooner, but I want to thank Wendy for your $5 super chat. Thank you so very, very much. You're very kind. Also, we are streaming on Twitch. We are streaming on YouTube. And of course, we're here every single day. So thank you. Let me just briefly thank some additional people for their kind contributions to what we do here. That includes, hang on, Kimberly. Thank you so much, Kimberly. I appreciate you. You're very, very kind. Thank you for your support. That's very sweet. Trish, thank you so much. David, thank you for your kindness. I appreciate you. Also to Amy and to Vicky and to Amy and to Angela. You guys are awesome. I appreciate you all very, 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 very much. You're incredibly kind. Thank you. Actually, let me adjust this real quick. We are crowdfunded. You want to support the channel? That's the best way to do it. Right there. All right. Back to our conversations here. Lots of folks requesting today. It is Free Speech Friday. I will do my best to try to get to as many people as possible. So thank you for being here. Appreciate you. Looks like that person might have timed out. My apologies. Okay. Fire breathing. I don't want to say it. Go ahead. How are you?
Good morning. Can you hear me okay?
I can. Yes. Thanks for being here. What's on your mind?
Okay. Well, I just been thinking about this. I saw a comment on a post that said the Don't Tread on Me party became the Just Comply party real quick. And I'm like, is the party switch happening again?
You mean this?
Yeah. That's exactly what I mean.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, because now the Democrats, or not Democrats, the left maybe, that side of things, are fighting for the real American values like diversity. And I don't know. I don't think the real American values are the nuclear family and Christianity. But I'm seeing.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a good point. That's a good point.
I'm seeing another party switch happening here.
Within their, what you mean, like within their own party?
And I mean, no, it's hard to explain because I don't ever want to say that like the Democrats are becoming more conservative, but it seems like the Democrats.
Well, they are. Yeah. Yeah.
More American than the right and the conservatives.
Well, Democrats by and large are conservative. I mean, people have to understand that our politics is primarily conservative. And this is what people on the right don't understand. They would talk about radical leftists. Well, I'm sorry, people who are radical on the left want health care and funding for public education and things like that. That's not radical.
Right.
But conservatives are the problem. Yeah, I mean, conservatives by and large are the problem. Whether you're a conservative Democrat or a conservative Republican, you're the problem, because conservatives by definition means you want to keep things the same, right? I want progress. I want society to move forward. So you are either a progressive or a conservative.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So progressive as well. But I don't really have a lot of information on how the party switch happened when it did the first time. But I just I'm wondering if that's kind of what's happening now in a way.
Yeah, I don't look at it as a party switch. I look at it as an ideological switch that put people in a party. So Democrats in the South, the racist Democrats became part of the Republican Party because they found a home. Because if you look throughout history, liberals are the ones that have made changes to society. Liberals are the ones that have advanced society forward. And Republicans used to be more liberal. Then it became Dixiecrats, exactly. Then it became, this whole I don't want black people to have rights kind of thing. Then those people left the Democratic Party and became Republicans. So it's more of an ideological switch than it is a political switch per se.
That makes more sense even for what's happening now.
Yeah. So well, thanks for jumping in today. I appreciate you. Thanks for being here. Have a good day. Be safe out there. You got it. Take care. Yeah, I mean, I think I understood her point, right, about how even the party itself, the Republican Party, like we went through this exercise yesterday of conservatives, traditional conservative Republicans would never, ever stand for, attacks on Venezuela or making threats to take Greenland or, the over-policing and big government. There's no way they would ever support any of that. That's why, from my perspective, I think the Republican Party is dead. It's MAGA, America first, and then whatever's left. Because they can't come back to that because there's just not enough of them. So I guess we'll see. Again, a lot of folks are requesting today's friends. I'll do my best to bring everybody up. I'm going to try to bring up some names of people that I don't know, that I've not spoken to before. See a lot of often friendlies, as they say. So if I don't get to you, it's not intentional. I'm just doing my best today. It is Free Speech Friday, friends. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you. Zuzu, how are you today?
Good. How about yourself?
Fine, thank you. What's on your mind?
Well, I just can't believe that people are not. I mean, there are so many human rights violations that Republicans are overlooking. Learning institutions are being forced to follow their rules. Otherwise, they can lose funding. What regime does that? Is that like in a communism where you are forced and told what to teach and what not to teach, and if you don't, you can lose funding.
That's not communism.
What's that?
That's not communism.
Well, isn't it telling institution what to teach and controlling what people supposed to learn? What is that supposed to be then?
No, that would be fascism.
Fascism, okay.
Yeah.
And
big difference.
So many things that we're overlooking, telling ICE to do whatever they need to do in unliving people if they have to, violating people's rights. I just don't know how we are accepting that. It's
that's part of why we have this conversation every day, friend. But yeah, I mean, I think it's obvious what we see. There's just people that are in denial of it, sadly. But
right, and then how far we can go. How far are we gonna keep going? And every time he complains about something, because he does it better than anybody else, he's accused of doing it, and anything, corruption.
I agree. Thanks for being here today, friend. I appreciate you. Got a lot of people I've got to get to today, but thanks for jumping in. I appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Have a good day. Be safe out there. Yeah, not communism. This is full baked fascism, and I think we have to stop saying that fascism is on the rise. It is here. There's no more obvious example than ICE and masked agents running around the streets of the U.S. cities. Right. That is. There's no bigger example, quite frankly. But yeah, so there's that. Again, Free Speech Friday, everybody. Thanks for being here. Everybody keep tapping and sharing. Appreciate y'all very much. Good morning, Autismal Equinox. How are you today?
I'm good. I just wanted to mention that there's a Substack article by Brent. Oh gosh, I've just forgotten his last name. It's about the fact that if we invade Greenland everything changes. It's really important. I believe his last name is Bolnar. It's super important. If you would read it, it would be great for you to just ingest the information.
I will. Thanks for the tip. Brett, I think it's Molnar. Does that sound right?
Yep.
Okay. I will check it out. Actually, somebody mentioned that to me before, but thank you for that reminder. I appreciate you. Thanks for being here. Have a good Friday. Be safe out there. Friends, programming note. Facts After Dark tonight, 7 o'clock Eastern time, right here. Make me laugh. That is the topic. If you want to release a little bit of anger, because laughter is a beautiful form of resistance, come on back tonight at 7 o'clock. Make me laugh. I've got a whole bunch of really, really bad / good dad jokes that I'll tell. So come on back tonight at 7 o'clock Eastern time. I appreciate you. All right. Everybody keep tapping. Thank you, friends, very much. 376,000 likes already. So we can get to 500K. Amy Lee, how are you, friend?
Hey, Steve. I'm not okay. I really need a Facts family, somebody to reach out to me and kind of talk me down. Not doing well. I just need help.
Why don't you jump into the Are You Okay channel that's in our Discord, Amy Lee? Okay.
I'm not sure how to use that, Steve. I've
okay,
but I'm not sure how to use it.
Okay. Are you in the Discord?
Absolutely.
Okay. If you just scroll down the channels list, you'll see it. It's called Are You Okay? Actually, I'll do you one better. Sam or one of the mods, would you mind reaching out to Amy Lee and just help guide her through that? You're not alone. We see you. Okay? We see you. I'm going to sit here right now and with you, and I want you to know that if you want to get some stuff off your chest, I'm sitting here right now to listen.
I'm homebound. I'm bedbound. I fell and fractured my back, and I feel very isolated and alone. The Facts family, y'all are all that I have, besides my daughter, who's my caregiver, and my granddaughter. And this community is all that I have. And I just really need somebody who will listen.
There's a couple things that I want you to consider. Okay. There's always 988, which is a crisis line. Okay. There are other resources too. And I want to, this goes to anybody. If you are ever in a position where you are feeling completely lost and alone, there are resources that are available out there. You know, we're here and we'll help you however we can, even if it's just a matter of listening. Happy to do that. But there are crisis lines. It's 988. There are other programs available. In fact, in our Are You Okay section, we do have resources like this. What is it right now? What can we help you with at the moment?
It would help me if someone would listen. Just reach out to me and maybe have some camaraderie, some friendship. I can't see my therapist right now because, of course, I can't meet my deductible, and so I'm kind of swimming in the deep end with no life jacket.
So as you were speaking, I was watching the comments go by, Amy Lee, and lots of people have messaged you directly in our chatting section of our Discord. If you want, I'll check with Sam. I know we've been in contact before, and I can give you some contact information for me, and I'm happy to sit and just listen if you want to just talk on the phone. But we're here right now. There's 1,800 people in here that are spreading the love. If you want to tell us more what's on your mind, this may not be the environment that you want to do it. If you'd rather do it more privately, we can do that too. It's your call.
Yeah, it's um my health isn't good, and our finances aren't good, and I'm overwhelmed. And there's just so much. There's so much, and it just feels like it's too much. I'm not like gonna unalive or anything. I'm just so overwhelmed, and I don't know what to do. I don't have anybody.
You do. You've got a massive community here that hears you, and lots of people feel the same way that you do. We are all here. But like I've said this to everybody, the first step is the acknowledgement that you're in that spot, right? So what you need to do right now is take your flowers, because there's a lot of people here that love you. What you need to do is understand that there's lots of people here that want to help you. And we're with you. You're not alone in this. We hopefully we helped make Christmas a little bit brighter in your house. I know that was really important to us. Hopefully that helped a little bit. Yeah, and then that's kind of what we do here, right? So there, like I said, there are resources within our Discord. I don't mean to be pushing you to the Discord, but I just want to let you know that there are resources there. But at the moment, just talking about this, has it helped a little bit?
Somewhat.
Okay. What can we do for you right now at this moment?
If someone would reach out and be willing to be a friend.
I got you. I'll take that on. Okay. Do me a solid. In our Discord, either Sam can get it for you, or you can message me directly. I will give you my number and we can talk.
Okay.
How's that sound?
That would help.
Okay.
You see.
I've got you covered. Once I get done with the show today, got a couple things I do, but like I said, you message me in the Discord. Private, you can direct message me, and we can talk. Okay.
Okay.
So again, 988. This goes for everybody. If you are ever in crisis, then that would be the place that you could get direct help. And I'm not saying that you are in crisis at the moment, but this is just a cautionary tale for everybody if you ever are there. But I got you. So like I said, we always talk about this, and I've said this to you before. Once you become part of our community, we are like gum on your shoe. You aren't getting rid of us. Okay? Does that help a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay. So I will be in touch later today as long as you message me. All right?
Okay.
Okay. We love you.
I love you, Steve. I love the mods. I love you guys. I love the Facts family. You guys are all that I have.
We got you. Thanks for being here today. Thanks for being vulnerable. Thanks for being honest. We got you. Okay?
Thank you.
All right. I'll talk to you later.
Okay.
Okay. Bye.
Bye-bye.
This goes for, I'm sorry, Emily. This goes for anybody, right? If you are ever in a position where you are just feeling like you got nobody, we've developed an amazing community here, and there's people that just will step up under all kinds of conditions and just help people. So the number, again, for if you are in crisis is 988. There's also warm lines available out there. There are all kinds of resources. If we can't help, we will try to put you in contact with people who can, right? So that's our mission here. It's always been our goal. It's always been our mission. And I'll do what we can to try to help. Is there something for me, Sam? Right. Yeah, again, good point, AD. 988 is good for anybody in her position. It's not just for those that are feeling like at their end. It's for anybody feeling alone and in a dark place. Yeah. So again, 988. All right, that's the number. Okay. You can text that. Apparently, you can text 988 too. It's awesome. All right. Excuse me. It's real life, man. It's real life. Okay. Heather, are you there, friend? I appreciate you guys saying that. It's not about me. It's about our community. This is what we do here. There's not a lot of resources. We've learned that there's not a lot of resources for people that are, well, there are lots of resources, but this is the whole point of why we talk about these kinds of things, because people are hurting. And, you know, the least we can do, we've developed a platform here with lots of people. The link to the Discord, by the way, is in the link tree that's in my bio. And this is for everybody. If for some reason it doesn't work, you can just reach out to one of our mods, or to copy the link. As long as you have Discord, the app Discord installed on your phone, if you copy the link and put it in a browser, it will open up in Discord. And we just ask that you follow the verification steps. It's free to join. We've got like 2,000 people in our Discord community. It's amazing. So I would encourage you. There's all kinds of resources in there, including pet resources regarding mental health, all kinds of stuff. So yes, we got you. We got you. Okay. Can we pin the link to the Discord? I don't know if we can do that because of the way the chat works. But if you're interested, you can just reach out to one of our moderators, and they can help you out as well. Also, remember the Lighthouse. That's right. The link to the Lighthouse is in there too. That's there. Veterans Crisis Line used by U.S. military members, veterans and their families. That's 838-225. That would be a text line. Thank you, Brooke, for this. It's for the Veterans Crisis Line used by U.S. military members, veterans, and their families to get confidential support by texting or calling 988, then pressing 1, or by texting directly 838-225 for immediate crisis intervention 24/7, linking to services like veteranscrisisline.net, chat, or the military crisis line. We can't put the Discord link in the TikTok chat. It won't let us. So that's part of the process. Again, Wendy, thank you so much. Appreciate you for the super chat. You guys are very kind. Appreciate you all very, very much. Okay. Yukon, how are you today?
I'm doing well. I just wanted to make a quick correction. It is actually 838-255.
838-255. Okay. I think let's get some confirmation on that. We certainly don't want to give somebody wrong information. 838-255, apparently. Can we confirm? I just want to I'm not questioning you, sir. I just want to make sure we get it right. That's all.
No, you're fine.
Okay. Thank you for that. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Can you drop me down?
You got it. You got it.
Stay safe.
Sure will. Thank you too. We'll just confirm that. It's either, is that right? Okay, it's 838-255. So again, the number 838-255 is the text short code for the Veterans Crisis Line used by U.S. military members, veterans, and their families to get confidential support by texting or calling 988, or by texting 838-255 for immediate crisis intervention 24/7, linking to services like veteranscrisisline.net, chat, or military crisis line. So again, there are resources out there, 838-255 or 988 in general for anybody who might need some help or assistance. We're here, friends. We're here to listen. If that's what it takes, like I said, Amy Lee will be in touch. I know one of our mods will probably reach out to you, most likely Sam. So thank you guys for being here. Hard to get back to the show after things like that, but that's real life. That's what we do here. So again, it's Free Speech Friday. If anybody wants to jump in and something's on your mind, I'm happy to listen. Just as a programming note, if you do want to, thank you, Sam. Appreciate you. Hearts in the chat for Sam and our mods, by the way, please. What was I going to say? If you want to just kind of have a little bit of relief tonight for a Friday night, come on back at 7:00 Eastern time. We'll call it joke night. Obviously, an opportunity to laugh a little bit, because in spite of all of this, right, we have to laugh on occasion too, because laughter is a form of therapy, and the more we do it, the better off we'll all be. Okay, a few other things that we probably should discuss. As you guys probably know, Jack Smith's name has come back up in the news, and I want to talk about this a little bit, just because it's so, again, easy to dunk on our friends from the right. So Jack Smith has testified behind closed doors, but we saw the video and then we saw the transcript being released, right? We know that. he appeared on, I should say, Jim Jordan appeared with Sean Hannity. And as I mentioned yesterday, Jim Jordan's name, oh, again, Wendy, thank you so much again. I appreciate you. You're so kind. Thank you so very, very much. I appreciate you, Wendy, for your super chat. For those of you on YouTube, my apologies for not addressing that as always, but thank you for your super chat contributions. Let me do this. That actually brings us to here. You guys are great. Thank you so much. I think our gifting has been suspended again. Nobody knows why, but anyway, yes. Here's the specifics. That's veteran specific. Yeah, Veterans Crisis Line would be you dial 988, then press 1. Okay. Jim Jordan's name was mentioned in the Sasha Riley testimony that we played for you the other day. I mentioned to you that I've contacted Jim Jordan's office and asked him if he's going to be suing Sasha Riley for libel, because if the information was so damning, you would think that someone who wasn't connected to any of this would certainly stand up and sue, but maybe not. I don't know. Anyway, Jack Smith is going to be testifying publicly, and I think the date is the 22nd, so I think it's next week. We'll try to cover that. But he appeared with Hannity last night, and this is what he had to say.
In Minneapolis so far,
Hold on one second. I got two things going at once. I'm going to pause that right there and then go right to here. Here we go.
The House Judiciary Committee under Chairman Jim Jordan announced that he will invite former special counsel Jack Smith in for a public hearing after he previously testified behind closed doors. And he may have one more thing to answer for, because over the weekend, the FBI Director Kash Patel announced that Smith's team paid an informant $20,000 to target President Trump and his allies in the Arctic Frost phony investigation.
Interesting. First of all, the accusations that Mr. Hannity is making is complete bullshit, because the argument is that he's intentionally targeting the president, and they keep using this $20,000. I'm like, okay, what's the legitimacy of this $20,000 and what can it be used for? So what they're talking about is that there are viral posts on Facebook, in particular, True Social, of course, and then other GOP line. This is from, where's this from? Hang on a second. This is reported by Just the News and by the Daily Beast. So what they're talking about here is how investigations can happen, and when you bring in sources, oftentimes you are paying sources to provide their information. Okay. A recent conversation, a conservative outlet, Just the News, reported that Jack Smith's team approved a $20,000 payment to a confidential human source in 2023 as part of the FBI's Arctic Frost investigation into efforts to overturn the 2020 election. This figure and detail were shared by FBI Director Kash Patel with Congress. Former President Trump and some commentators have amplified these reports as though it were a crime or bribery, urging that Smith be prosecuted or jailed. It's not a personal payment to Jack Smith. There's no credible evidence that Smith, okay. We got a restriction, so guys, I need your help. Everybody, please, please, please tap like crazy. Tap like crazy. Like crazy. I think gifting has been suspended, so I really need your help. We can get to 500K. Federal law enforcement commonly pays sources as part of its investigations. These are reimbursements or incentives for information. They are not bribes. For example, under federal law, agencies must sometimes pay fees to persons providing information or documents at their own expense if the costs were reasonably necessary. The payment surfaced in the context of the FBI's Arctic Frost investigation into alleged efforts to influence the 2020 election and Trump-related associated activity, not as a personal contract or invoice for Smith. So what you're going to hear now is that Jack Smith bribed somebody to say things bad about Donald Trump. Just listen how Sean Hannity sets this up, and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Here you go.
All right, the Jack Smith saga that is heating up again on Friday. The House Judiciary Committee under Chairman Jim Jordan announced that he will invite former special counsel Jack Smith in for a public hearing after he previously testified behind closed doors. And he may have one more thing to answer for, because over the weekend, the FBI Director Kash Patel announced that Smith's team paid an informant $20,000 to target President Trump.
Bullshit. That right there is propaganda. The target President Trump. Nope, you're busted. You're busted. Nope, that's not what he did. Following the process of every single investigative agency there is. You give money to informants, covers travel costs, covers their time, covers their testimony. It's not a fucking crime. It's not. You're going to hear it now. This is what people on the right are going to do. They're going to say, huh, they targeted him, they paid him, so he's lying. See what I mean?
And his allies
Crazy.
in the Arctic frost phony investigation. Anyway, here now with more House Judiciary Committee Chairman Jim Jordan. Oh, let's see. Oh, for some people, $20,000 to say something that you want them to say, I would say that's called.
Even though that's not true at all. And Sean Hannity knows that. He knows that. It's not true.
Called an incentive. Is that very common?
Well, I don't know how much Jack Smith did here. That's one of the questions we have. Were there multiple payments? Who else was he paying? I think the big question, frankly, is why? Jack Smith could subpoena anybody and everybody he wanted. In fact, he went out and got phone records for dozens of members of Congress, for goodness sake. So why is he taking hard-earned American tax dollars to pay this guy? But here's the thing I find sort of ironic is, remember, son, it's almost like we've come full circle. Because 10 years ago, Jim Comey was paying a foreigner, Christopher Steele, who put together this garbage document called the dossier that started this whole decade of weaponization of the government against President Trump. And now we find...
Oh, my God, they are so fucking desperate. Can you hear it? Can you hear it? They're so desperate. They're telling their voters, their supporters, their watchers of Fox News that what Jack Smith did is criminal. It's not. It is part of the fucking process. This is what you fucking do. And Jack Smith's going to sit there publicly next week. He's going to be like, oh, okay, here are the examples. This is what happened, right? No big, exactly. Thank you for bringing that up. No big deal, though, that Tom Homan had $50,000 cash in a bag. Have a bag of cash. Yeah.
Now it looks like Jack Smith was doing something very similar. So we're going to have questions about Mr. Smith when we bring him in next Thursday, like we always plan to do. We're going to bring him in next Thursday for a hearing at 10 a.m., public hearing, where we'll be able to ask him about this issue and a host of others.
Ask him then.
What recourse do congressmen and senators like yourself, my understanding is they got your phone records too, do you have? Is that an invasion of privacy?
Nope.
Well, certainly, because they know
Listen
who
to
you
this.
called, who called you, when the call happened, how long it lasted, and if you initiated it, they know where you were at when you did so.
Okay.
You can pattern someone's life. And here's the kicker for me.
Oh.
17 days after Speaker McCarthy becomes Speaker of the House, Jack Smith subpoenaed his phone record from 2 years prior for a 2-month time frame.
Correct.
And again, he knows everything.
Let's talk about why, though. Let's talk about why these phone records were subpoenaed. Those phone records were subpoenaed 2 years prior, because 2 years prior happened to be around the time of January 6th. That's why the phone records were sequestered. They don't have evidence of what you talked about. There's no transcripts. It's just who spoke to whom and when and for how long. They are so fucking scared. They are so scared. It's one thing for them to lie to you about things that we may not have information on, but this is just fucking obvious. And we'll get our little mouth breathers be like, yeah, well, fucking government spying on you. Really? How are they spying on you? Well, they got the phone records. What does that mean? Well, it means they got the phone records. Yeah, what does that mean, though? It means that they know when they ordered pizza. Okay.
Everything. You can pattern what the speaker was up to. You know who he's talking to before big votes, after big votes. You can pattern someone's life. And then Jack Smith goes to the court and says, don't let Verizon, don't let AT&T, let them tell the second ranking guy to the president, second in line to the president, the highest Republican in government. Don't let him know that you did this, that we got his information, for goodness sake. And they put on this subpoena, they said he's a flight risk. He might tamper with witnesses. He might tamper with them.
Oh, yeah, that's a real flight risk.
Yeah, you got to be kidding me. So that's what Jack Smith did. And now we learn he's using American tax dollars to pay confidential human sources. We want to know who this person is. How many times, again, did he pay him?
Tell you what, Jim, how about we do this? How about we talk about $20,000 as part of an investigation that gets paid from a government budget that's set aside for that? We'll talk about $20,000. No problem. As long as we can have the conversation about Donald Trump's $150 million that American taxpayers have used to fund his golf trips. Can we have that conversation? Booby, can you and I sit across the table and have that conversation? Or can we talk about that? Can we talk about the fact that ICE is getting funded for violating people's constitutional rights? Or billions of dollars to Argentina? Or now investments in Greenland? Can we have that conversation, my guy? Can we sit across the table and have that conversation? Probably not, huh? Probably not.
We want to know all the details about that. And again, this is something I'm sure we'll get into in next week's hearing.
Uh-huh.
All right, he's a career prosecutor and attorney. Is he slick? You've spent time with him now.
Well, he knows his subject matter. He's worked in all kinds of different things. He was involved in trying to go after Republicans 10 years ago in the whole Tea Party when they were looking to go after conservative people who applying for tax-exempt status. So yeah, he's done a lot of things. He's been in the Justice Department. He worked over at the World Court. So he'll be a tough witness, but we're gonna present the facts, and I think frankly we're gonna show that Jack Smith was part of this bigger effort. First it was the dossier, then it was Mueller, then it was impeachment 1, then it was impeachment 2, Fonnie Willis, Alvin Bragg, Jack Smith, all this weaponization. He was part of that effort to stop President Trump. Thank goodness the American people can see the truth, and they made President Trump our 47th president.
So again, if we go back to the conversation I was having a little while ago with Anthony, right? So this is the whole point. This is why the hypocrisy is so fucking easy to call out, right? So if you want to say, listen, if anybody just takes the word at face value of any reporting that comes from the White House or from a select member of a committee, then shame on you. If you guys have learned anything from me over the last couple of years, it's that question everything, especially when it comes from the administration. So people on the right seem to think that a statement put out by the White House they should take as fact, or statements from the oversight chairperson, who happens to be James Comer, we should just take it as fact. So here we are once again. Are we expected to believe the Department of Homeland Security when they have lied to us every single fucking day? Don't forget, Kristi Noem told you that they were pushing their vehicle out of the snow. Nope. That there was adverse weather in Minneapolis. Nope. That she and others, Renee Good and others, were ramming federal officers. Nope. So that's why I asked the question. That's why I said, okay, so then under the Biden administration, was the investigations into President Trump legitimate? He scrambled to try to find an answer to that question. Because that's what happens, right? Your mind gets blown. Like if you want me to believe, thought that they wouldn't fly on the government websites. Right, deuces, okay. Right. So if you want me to believe everything that comes from the Pam Bondi, Kash Patel FBI, then I would expect you to believe everything that came out during the investigation to Donald Trump during the Biden administration. And MAGA will never do that. Never do that. They will spin and they will bounce and they will fucking do everything they can other than face the truth. Okay? So, yeah, anyway. I found this interesting sound from J.D. Vance from a while back. This is crazy. Listen to this nonsense. I think this was about a month ago as he's out in one manufacturing facility across the country. This is crazy, crazy town. Here you go.
You mentioned this morning, you said 60,000 jobs were added in November. However, it also said 100,000 jobs were lost in October, and the unemployment rate currently stands at 4.6%.
It's actually 4.6% and went up since then, right?
Which is the highest since the pandemic. So my question is, how do you inspire companies to hire people if people don't have jobs? Income tax cuts aren't going to help them.
Now, you mentioned, this is an important point, you mentioned the unemployment rate ticking up to 4.6.
Listen to this fucking spin. This is like Kristi Yamaguchi spin. There's a name from the past.
6%. I think this is a very, very important point, because you know what that means? What that data shows, you got to get in the weeds a little bit. The unemployment rate only counts the people who are looking for work. So let's say you dropped out of work 2 years ago, you haven't been searching for a job. Well, you're unemployed, but you're not counted in the official unemployment statistics. What you're seeing as wages go up, as more investment comes into our country is that people who weren't looking for work under Biden's administration are getting out there and looking for work in the Trump administration. That's exactly what we want. We want to get people off the sidelines and give them a good job with good pay. And we're seeing a lot of evidence that that is happening under President Trump's leadership.
So basically what he's saying is that unemployment up during Joe Biden's time meant that people were lazy, but unemployment up under Donald Trump means they suddenly want jobs. What? 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 I know, Eve, right? That is a total... Eve's in the chat. Looky there. Looky, looky, looky. Everybody say hello. Looky, looky, looky. Yes, that is some brilliant fucking spin. That's like triple axel Olympic center ice spin. Denying the fact that this lost 1 million jobs or more in 2025. Unemployment up 4.6%. The economy at levels we've not seen since the recession. And that's the fucking spin. So people were lazy under Joe Biden, even though the unemployment rate was lower. But now people suddenly want jobs. What? Okay. No problem. All right. Who am I going to dunk on now? Let's move on to Caroline. Caroline. You, my friend, are in trouble. I got to tell you. I hope your pregnancy goes well. I really do. Hope you have a happy, healthy child. I really, really do. But the amount of lies that you are now telling is almost like next level. Here's the first. Let's talk about this one. So this is a reporter is responding to the situation that happened with Renee Good. Here you go.
Defending ICE agents generally. And earlier on, Secretary Noem spoke to the media, and she said, among other things, that they are doing everything correctly. 32 people died in ICE custody last year. 170 U.S. citizens were detained by ICE. And Renee Good was shot in the head and killed by an ICE agent. How does that equate to them doing everything correctly?
Why was Renee Good unfortunately and tragically killed?
Here's a spin.
Are you asking me my opinion? Because an ICE agent acted recklessly and killed her unjustifiably.
Oh, okay. So you're a biased reporter with a left-wing opinion.
What do you want me to do?
Yeah, because you're a left-wing hack. You're not a reporter. You're posing in this room as a journalist. And it's so clear by the premise of your question. And you and the people in the media who have such biases but fake like you're a journalist, you shouldn't even be sitting in that seat.
Wow.
But you're pretending like you're a journalist, but you're a left-wing activist. And the question that you just raised and your answer proves your bias. You should be reporting on the facts. You should be reporting on the cases. Do you have the numbers of how many American citizens were killed at the hands of illegal aliens who ICE is trying to remove from this country?
Here we go.
I bet you don't. I bet you didn't even read up on those stories. I bet you never even read about Laken Riley or Jocelyn Nungray or all of the innocent Americans who were killed at the hands of illegal aliens in this country. And the brave men and women of ICE are doing everything in their power to remove those heinous individuals and make our communities safer. And shame on people like you in the media who have a crooked view and have a biased view and pretend like you're a real honest journalist.
So just to level set, the question that he asked was about American citizens being detained. The question he asked was, is there any responsibility on ICE to address the fact that 35 people lost their life in ICE detention last year? The most in 20 years? 18 instances, again. 18 instances of pregnant women being assaulted in custody. 14 instances of children being assaulted in custody. A teenage boy in custody had his testicles stomped on. And we already have numerous examples I've explained to you this morning of how ICE is violating the law in numerous cases, or people posing as ICE officers. Caroline, the question was about American citizens being detained by ICE, not your bullshit and not your rhetoric. I have been watching the progression of Caroline Leavitt. And when she's caught, that's what she does. She's good at her job. I'll give her credit. She's good at her job. Lying is easy, though. But the problem is, right, when you are defending the administration, when you are defending the indefensible, you find yourself in this position. Again, a tenet of fascism is to go all in, against you've got to discredit the press. Caroline, yes, remember, I've said this to you guys before. Caroline is from New Hampshire. Now, I share that with you because there's reporting from New Hampshire. Let me see if I can find it. Hang on a second here. Where is it? This is from the Concord Monitor, which is a local publication in New Hampshire. A Republican House education chair says publicly that she favors politically segregated schools after she got caught. Hours after the release of private messages purportedly showing the Republican chair of a House Education Committee advocating for segregated schools, the lawmaker said publicly she supported separating schools by political party. That's her spin. Republicans have been self-segregating out of the leftist indoctrination centers for decades, wrote Rep. Christine Noble, the chair of the House Education Policy and Administration Committee, apparently referring to public schools. Quote, "It's funny to watch the Democrats feign outrage when I thought they'd be supportive of managing their own schools, with libraries full of corn, biological males and girls' sports and bathrooms, and as much DEI curriculum as their hearts desire," she said in a statement sent through the House Republican office. Quote, "Schools like that all will have terrible test scores because they focus on social justice rather than academics." Noble's statement, released Wednesday, followed a report by news site Granite Post showing a pair of messages sent by a user labeled as Kristen Noble, who wrote, quote, "When we have segregated schools, we can add all the fun stuff." The user then added, "Imagine the scores, though, if we had schools for them and some for us." The chat, called Ed Policy 2026, appeared to contain at least some of the Republican members of the committee that Noble, a Bedford representative, chairs. A user labeled Katie Petronell, who's the vice chair of the committee, responded with a laughing emoji to the first message. Other members of the chat did not appear to acknowledge the comments. Asked by the Concord Monitor before the release of her public statement whether she had written the message attributed to her, Noble declined to answer but said that she was sure there is more context behind it. The term segregated schools typically refers to racial segregation. Noble claimed in her statement that she was referring to political segregation. Okay, so just real quick, I did a quick check on education rankings by state. So, pretty obvious information here, right? The states that most historically rank in the top 10. They are, listen for the trends: Massachusetts, Connecticut, New Jersey, Virginia, New Hampshire, Maryland, Vermont, Minnesota, Delaware, and Nebraska. 9 of the top 10 states that have the best education outcomes are blue. Conversely, the states on the other end, Alaska, West Virginia, Louisiana, Arkansas, Mississippi. Now, interesting that if they want to segregate by schools, that's fine by me, but why would you want to? Why would you want to? Wouldn't you want to? Wouldn't you want your gifting restored? Cool. Gifting's back. There you go. My point is, New Hampshire ranks high on the education continuum. By the way, most New England states do. Because why is that? Because New England states, blue states, invest in education. We've decided as states that the priority is to invest in education. I've got high taxes in here, but I also know that my state's got some of the best education outcomes in the country. By the way, I might have to jump at some point this morning because we are expecting colleges to notify us today. So we'll see how it goes this morning. There's quite a few. We're waiting for a big one. We're waiting for a really big one. We're waiting for the top choice. We're expecting it today. So anyway, but for her to make that statement, then to try to say, thank you. Then for her to try to say, well, I meant segregate by political ideology. So what would that look like? What would that look like? How would you segregate schools by politics? How would you do that? That's the problem when you're caught with your racism. And I share it because Caroline Levitt is from New Hampshire. And like I said earlier, New Hampshire is the back acne of New England. They really are. Some of the best schools in the country reside in blue states. It's not it's undeniable. When they talk about the secession, about blue states carving itself away, I saw an interesting video recently of New England becoming its own country. If that were to happen, man, oh man, we got our shit figured out. Some of the highest, we've got massive input in GDP. We've got military bases. We've got shipbuilding facilities. We've got the best colleges and universities. Some would argue that it's in the world. All the brain power exists here. We're tough as hell, right? We're smart, honest, maple syrup, cider donuts. You know? Buzzard knows. He knows. Perfect example. He knows. He gets it. He understands.
Yeah.
Am I right about New Hampshire? Am I right about New Hampshire, the back acne of New England?
I hate to say it. The one thing I like about New Hampshire is Portsmouth is fun as shit. Okay, it's a wonderful city.
Yeah, well,
outside of Portsmouth,
I agree, but that part of the state, that's like Massachusetts North.
Exactly. But yeah, New Hampshire is problematic. But what I want to say is we have aluminum ironworks right here in Bath, Maine. We build our ships out of aluminum. It's beautiful. We have...
That's right. The aluminum shipbuilding factories and plants all across the country. That's exactly right. But somebody just said that. It's called Bath Iron Works, not Bath Aluminum Works.
I can't believe he said that out loud. So
I know.
But no, real quick, I wanted to come on while you were in Stowe.
Yeah.
Wonderful town. That's a ride for you. Is it not?
Yeah, it's not that. It's not. It's well, it's not that far.
Oh,
it's not that far.
Okay. I felt like it was just right over Route 2 in New Hampshire. I mean, Massachusetts to Vermont. I feel like I've been there a few times.
No, Stowe is north of Montpelier, so it's like in the northern part of the state.
Oh, is it that far up? Jeez. I must have been really elevated when I was doing those drives then.
Well, that'd be a shocker. Yeah, I'm not going to dox myself, but anyway, yes.
But anyways,
don't worry, I'm good at not doxing. It's all good.
Okay, thanks. But where we're living in right now is just unbelievable. It's free speak and all that. But yes, New England would be very, very, very successful.
We'd be good. Yep.
Yeah.
We'd be good.
And we could probably rope New York into us if we wanted to. I fucking hate to say that out loud, but we could.
Well, there'd be a test, like my new country of Cantifa. You know, we would include all of New England. If we could figure out a way to cut out New Hampshire or just build a bridge from my state to your state, that'd be great too. We're taking applications. We have to talk about, you know, the sincerity of swing states, because all y'all you can't make up your damn mind. Like, I'd love to include Wisconsin, but sometimes you guys vote Republican and sometimes you vote Democrat. Can't make up your damn mind. Right? I know everybody wants an application. If you're in Oklahoma, I'm sorry, but you cannot join Antifa. I should say the country of Cantifa. Pennsylvania, again, you're too swingy. Sorry. I don't know. Sorry.
You realize where I live right now? What's once part of Canada? Fuck, why did you fight for us?
I know. You're right about that. Let me see if I can find my map. So what's going on over there? I hear a lot of talk about Janet Mills and Graham Plattner, and it seems like Susan Collins, although she's a cat with 9 lives, she oftentimes manages to avoid, or I should say, win her elections in spite of lots of things. What are you hearing on the ground
I really thought she was going to lose. I thought she was going to lose the last one. So like you said, you never know. Friggin', she's another step. I'm a Plattner fan. And right now, I think he has the lead, but it's so hard to tell because you also have Janet Mills, which, by the way, I like Janet Mills. I love Janet Mills. I mean, the fact that she stood up during that governor's meeting and said, "I'll see you in court," that was fucking awesome. I don't care what you say. So I love.
She's Janet. A moderate.
Yeah,
she's a moderate. She's yep. It's not. I'm not. Yeah, not necessarily big fan. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
But does she have more strength to beat Collins? I love your map. Does she have more strength to beat Collins than Plattner? I don't know.
I think. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the DNC is not gonna support Plattner. We know that he's raising lots of money. There's lots of things that I have questions about Plattner's past. I think he's come clean with some things. I don't like his answers to other things. But I want to say this, and this goes for everybody, right? If we want more people to be involved in our process, if we want more people to be included in our body politic, then we're going to have to accept more things from people's past. And I think that goes without saying. We can't expect perfection. We've got to stop thinking that we have to hold our politicians to a high standard, but why would we hold them to a higher standard than we would hold ourselves? I think that's the problem. We've all made mistakes in our past. We've all made mistakes. The question is, though, or the demand should be, are you willing to come clean about all of it? And if you are, then are we not in a position to be able to look past shit? I don't know. That's kind of my hope, right? Yeah, exactly. No more pearl clutching. No more fucking pearl clutching. But
one party has looked past it, and it looks past it every single day of our lives. So we have to start looking past some of this. So now, in New England, especially my state and your state, I feel like we're very more progressive than a lot of the country.
I'm a registered progressive in my state. The Progressive Party in Vermont is like the strongest party, part of our body politic there is. So I am a registered progressive. So there you go.
So I'm independent, and my state is very purple. But I think we are going very, very progressive.
We'll see.
I mean,
hope so.
Yeah, I hope so too. I mean, you drive down my road, Broadway. There's six places where you could buy the legally.
I got one across the street from you.
But Steve, it's always good talking to you, buddy. And
you too, buddy.
I might pop back on in a little while because there are other things I want to talk to you about, but I just wanted to shoot in. Real quick, Amy, yeah. I threw a DM out and I had to withdraw it because of some circumstances. But Amy, I did mutually make you a mutual. Reach out to me. I'm available right now if you want to make a phone call, and I will give you my number. And I don't do that very generously. Steve doesn't even have my number. So I'll give you my number, and we can have a phone call. All right, guys. Anyways, everyone be safe and keep your mental health great. Thanks.
See you, Fuzzer. Take care, man. See ya. So this is the map of Cantiva. Okay, so this is how it breaks down. You can see all the New England states. Now, we've had some debate about New Jersey. Okay, so I'm willing to extend the line down to New Jersey. Virginia, yeah, okay, for the most part, but this is where we're going to have to be accepting applications. So yes, people who live in Canada have told me that Alberta is basically the MAGA of North Country. So we had to draw lines around certain swing states, as you can see, right? So Minnesota, we've included. West Coast, you're good. But those of you all down here, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. Case by case application, sure. Yeah, we could put New Jersey up there. I'm fine with that. But listen, if you're in this part of the country, like, yes, there's blue dots everywhere. But I know people want to be saved. I get it. I totally get it. But Michigan is great, but you're swingy, right? So the problem is like Michigan, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin in particular, those states, if you could vote Democrat 2 presidential elections in a row, I would include you. Illinois, yeah, we have to make the case for Illinois. I'm going to have to redraw the map a little bit. But here it is, right? So I'm going to be the viceroy of Cantifa. I'm accepting applications for my administration, but you're going to have a particular set of skills. I'm just saying. So then in New Mexico, yeah, I mean, sure, but it gets a little swingy. Nevada is a little bit swingy. I'm just saying we're going to have to make some hard decisions. It's not always easy. We'll do our best. But, I'm a generous guy. You guys, again, we'll take visa applications. You can buy your way in. Hello, Rusty. How are you?
Hey, you're absolutely taking California, and we're all swingy out here.
That's true. California's included, though. Yeah, that is very true. You're swinging in a different way.
Yeah, I was going to say, maybe not the same swingy you were meaning, but
No, that's true. That's true. Yeah, it's a different kind of swing.
Yeah.
So again, application process is open. Yes, can I be bribed? Absolutely, I can. No doubt about it. How are you today, sir?
I'm okay. I don't know if I shared with you. I know you and I have talked about.
Nope, you went on mute. You're still on mute. And you're still on mute. Do you know you're muted? Rusty? I'm going to drop you down, buddy. If you want to request again, you can come right back up. Sorry about that. Don't know what happened. All right. 10:55, friends. His phone died, probably. Angie, how are you today?
Hi, good morning. It's crazy to be up here. I watch you every morning.
Thank you. What's on your mind
So,
today?
I just had a quick thought, and it's not related to this, but you know how they're talking about cutting funding to the states that have sanctuary cities? Right?
Correct, yes.
So, what if when we are back in office, we just cut the funding to the states that want to allow abortions? Or, ban abortions. Gosh, excuse me.
No, I know what you meant. Oh, yeah. Or
this is
we
going
should
to come back.
You're right. Or it immediately deem MAGA a domestic terrorist operation, and we can identify them by their red hats, by their truck nuts, by their pterodactyl posters. Yep. And round them all up.
Yep.
Totally agree. Yep.
Exactly. Yep. That's all. That's all. Keep doing what you're doing. I love it. Thank you.
Thank you, Angie. I appreciate you. Have a good day. Be safe out there. Yeah. Exactly. That's how we fight back a little bit, isn't it?
Yeah, sorry. I had an alarm go off and it threw everything into a tizzy.
No, sorry.
Yeah, no. What I was saying is, I know you and I had spoken before about my mother and her illness, and she did finally pass at the beginning of the month.
I'm sorry, man. I'm so sorry.
I appreciate it. Not unexpected, but one of the things that has struck me, just in the last few days especially, is
can you drive for a second? I'll be right back. Go ahead. You can drive.
Oh, okay. We were going off the cliff. Now, one of the things that has struck me, folks, my mother hated 3 people. She would always say, I don't hate anybody. I love everybody except 3 people. One of them being my ex. Okay, I get that. One of them being someone who conned a family member out of a ton of cash. And the third being Mango Mussolini. And she was a veteran. She was a tough little Marine. But one of the things that has struck me is she went to her grave being very apprehensive and in a bit of fear because me and her grandchildren still live here in the States. She was in Canada. And she lived in fear for us because of what's going on. And that just bothers me deep down, that this woman went to the great beyond, fearing for my safety and my mental health in the United States of America.
Exactly.
Here, in this place, that, like I said, she was a veteran. She took the oath. She kept her oath. And that's something I don't know I can ever forgive MAGA for. I'm throwing on the pile of all the other stuff I won't ever forgive them for. But just the mere fact that she passed away apprehensive for me, my safety, my mental health, her grandchildren's safety and mental health, because of the current regime. It just bugged me. So, not to bring a downer. Oh, and you know that I just had my eye surgery, and the doctor called me a couple of days ago and asked how everything was, if I had any other concerns. And I did say, yeah, I think I need to maybe get a hearing exam now, because I'm wondering if I'm losing my hearing. And he said, well, can you describe the symptoms? I said, well, yeah, they're yellow, and the dad's name is Homer.
God. So on that point, on that note, I should say, come back tonight at 7 o'clock because it's Make Me Laugh is the schedule for our Facts After Dark tonight at 7 o'clock Eastern time. If you guys want to come back and let off some steam and maybe laugh a little bit, because joy is a form of resistance. Thank you, Rusty. Again, super sorry about your mom, bro. But it's
No, I appreciate it. I know you and I talked about it. I figured I'd share with you.
I appreciate you, my man. Talk to you soon.
All right, pal.
Be well. Be safe out there. All right. Bye. Yeah, seriously, he's right though, right? I mean, this is what we're talking about as we reshape the nation afterwards. As we went through the exercise of the French Revolution. It's not always great on the other side. There's always a leadership vacuum. Remember, Napoleon, becomes the hero of the people, right? Getting rid of King Louis, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then what does Napoleon do? He calls himself an emperor. So what's going on here? Hold on a second. Wait a minute. What's going on here? Wait a minute. What's going on here? Hold on a second. Hold on a second. What's happening here? Wait a second. What's going on? What are you guys doing here?
It's a mod race.
Well, it's interesting that you came up, Sam and Brooke, because for those of you who don't know, Sam's birthday is tomorrow, and we have basically lied to her all morning because she was under the impression that this was going to be a give Fax his flowers moment.
Wait,
but it's
what?
actually not.
What?
Nope, this is a moment.
So not.
Nope, it's so not.
Nope.
This is about recognizing you. Yes. So for those of you who don't know, these fine, amazing human beings are mods. And I could not do what I do every single day without any of them. And they know how much I love them all from the very bottom of my heart. Sam happens to be a person who's assumed a lot of leadership responsibility within our team. She makes me look good every day, which is not easy. She's the one that she manages our YouTube. She manages our Twitch. She helps manage our Discord. She also is the person who adds new items to the merch store. And her birthday is tomorrow. So I just want you to know from the bottom of my heart how much I love you. And I'm sure that everybody else on this panel feels the exact same way.
Oh,
so we got
God. Oh, I love you guys so much.
We love you more.
Look at that.
We
Look
love
at
you,
that.
Sam.
Sam,
My favorite people.
you are not
Look
just
at
my
that.
sister. You are like my sister's soulmate.
Soulmate.
Hold
Soulmate
on.
sisters.
Yes, everybody.
Look at that.
Oh my God,
We
it's
have
everybody.
somebody's got to mute. Somebody's got to mute.
Tiff needs to mute.
I think it's somebody's got background noise. Tiff, I think
It's
it's you. I'm going to
Tiffany.
mute your mic real quick. Yep, I got it. I'm going to mute your mic. So, for the people who know our community, know that when I refer to our mod team, these are the people that I refer to. So, for those of you who don't know them, they never ask for notoriety. They don't ask for any of that. But I just want you to know that there's no way in hell I could do anything without each and every person here and others. And others. And Sam, we just want you to know from us how much we all love you. And it's your birthday tomorrow. You're going to be 19 again, which is awesome
Again,
for you.
yes.
But we love you so much. Anybody like to say anything about Sam?
I would.
Because I could. Go ahead, Francis.
Sam, I love you to pieces. You keep us all in line, which is really hard because it's like herding cats. But we just adore you. You are the perfect amount of sugar and spice. And I wish you the bestest birthday.
I love you. Thank you so much.
Boom. Next.
Yes, I would love to say that Sam just brings a smile to my face all the time. Anytime I have a concern or something sad to say, she's always got something positive and spreads the love, and she warms my heart every day. And I just love you so much.
I'm sobbing. I love you guys so much. Oh
Good. I'm glad.
That's why we're here.
First of all, I love it. I'm going to get kicked in the shins for this later, I guarantee, but I'll take it now. That's for sure.
You
Who's
absolutely
next?
will.
You will take those bruises and like them.
It'll be worth it.
Will.
I'll go
It will.
next.
Yes.
Sam.
Hi, Eve.
Hi. Hi, everyone.
Beautiful, Eve. It's so good to see you.
It's so good to see everyone. I missed y'all so terribly much. This is, I couldn't miss this. For the world, I told work that this was a family matter. And so I'm in my office with the door closed because my sister is having her birthday tomorrow and needs to be celebrated and showered with love like she should be every day because she does so much for everyone and she does it selflessly. She is constantly asking to take on more. She is by my side. She knows where my skeletons are buried. I can't say enough good things about you. People come in and out of our lives. It's an inevitability. But I can't imagine what my life was like before you. And I don't ever want to imagine it without you. I love you.
Oh my God. I'm seriously sobbing right now.
Well, then mission accomplished, sister.
You guys are amazing.
I'll go.
Next. Okay.
All right.
Jess.
Well, first of all, Steve, you have broken my cherry for coming up on a live.
Oh my! Oh, that's right.
Hey now.
And so this is my first time, but Sam, if I really
My
did
work
get
here is
you,
done.
then mission accomplished because honestly, I thought you kind of knew.
No,
but
I am the most gullible person in the world.
Well, good.
Like
good.
Steve can tell you, I am like, I don't catch on to anything.
Good. Okay. Well, I'll remember that for the future then. But yeah, I just want to say happy birthday. You're my partner in crime. We're always making Steve blush in the background and
always
messing with him, kicking him in the shins, that kind of thing. But also, you are now the same age as me. So go millennials.
Yes.
And that's all.
Not yet.
And
But Jess,
wait,
you're always
Gen X
you're always
is
going to be
terrible.
older than her. Jess, you're always going to be older than Sam. So good try though.
Oh, well, you're ancient.
Much.
So.
Yeah. How are the dinosaurs?
You see what I mean? This is what I have to deal with every day. Damn it. Next. Who's next?
Is it me? I think it's me.
It is you. It is you.
Sam, actually, when I first started following Steve, Sam was the first mod I talked to. You've always been incredibly kind. You do so much work and don't take nearly enough credit for it. I think you're probably the coolest farmer and the coolest educator that I know. And I think this is going to be a real good year for you. I'm excited. I'm happy to work with you and hang out.
I love you. Thank you.
Big love.
AD or Tiff? Anybody else?
I'm going to bring it in because Miss Spicy Sweet Miss Ma'am Sam. Okay. You just bring me such light. You've given me an appreciation for Taylor Swift that I never thought I could have.
Yes. Yes.
Seeing you frolic around on your farm when you post your videos absolutely gives me a little sprinkle of sunshine and joy that I need when I'm in these TikTok streets. And I appreciate you so much. I can't even put it into words. And that is a rare thing because I'm very verbose most of the time. But
people are.
Thank you for bringing such joy and spice and keeping us grounded when we need to check ourselves and keeping us thinking big when we need to get out of our own way. And all the things you do to just hold us together. I feel like you are a big part of the glue that holds us all together. And do we need it? And to piggyback on Francis, yes, spicy and sweet, and you're everything about what we. You carry the torch. Steve shows up and does his thing. I mean, whatever. But you really hold us together, beloved. And we love you beyond measure. And I hope your Sun Lab anniversary is the best one yet. You deserve it and more.
Thank you so much. I love you.
So now that we've sufficiently embarrassed you, is there anything that you'd like to say?
I just love you guys so much. I'm just so incredibly blessed to be part of this community. I see you guys in the chat. Thank you so much for everything, all the happy birthdays, all the love. I see it all, I promise. I think Tiff does want to say something, but her mic isn't.
Yep.
I don't
Yep.
know. Okay.
Yes. Go. Hold on.
Yeah, you're fine.
Tiff, go ahead.
Yeah.
Shower her with some love. Go ahead, Tiff. I had to mute your microphone because I think there was a bit of feedback. But feel free. You're all set.
Hello?
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
We love you, Sam. You are the glue that holds this ship together.
There you go. I think that
I love you,
I think that covers it. I'm gonna mute that. So I'm gonna drop everybody down except for you, Miss Sam. Just give me a second. Let me do.
Everybody say
I love you guys.
That means I have to work. That means I have to work like that. So do that. Hold on. Do that there. We're doing
You're
the V's
making
down the
Steve
board. Yeah, I know it's not easy. I'm challenging more than two things at once. Take that, and then we'll do that. And
Look at
there
you
go.
multitasking. I'm so proud.
Again, so seriously though, from the bottom of all of our hearts, we know what you do for us. We know how important you are to our team. You don't ever take your flowers enough. You know that because I get up in your shit constantly or not. So
Every
can
day.
you take your flowers? Can you take your flowers today?
Okay. I'm kind of being forced to.
You are. We love you.
I
very
love
much.
you guys.
Thank you for all you do. Appreciate that. Happy birthday.
You're welcome.
Okay?
I love it. And I love
Okay.
you.
All right. Bye. Okay.
Bye.
Thank you guys for letting us do that. That was incredible. You guys are all awesome. I appreciate you guys for that. Thank you, Sam, from the bottom of all of our hearts. And happy birthday to you. Cool. All right. Let's see. What else do we have here that I wanted to cover? That was great, wasn't it? So again, you know what? These little things that we can do once in a while to put a smile on somebody's face, pay that shit forward. I'm glad it made you smile. I figured it would. I really thought that would make you guys smile. Okay. I've got another bit of good news that I wanted to share with you guys. I think this is a really cool story. Let me see if I can find it. I think this is the one. Is that the one I wanted to play? No, because I want to stay on the topic of some good news. I thought this was a really cool story. Hang on a second. Yes. So I'm going to introduce you to Sabrina Gonzalez-Pasterski. She's a theoretical physicist known for her early brilliance and independent path. At 16, she built and flew her own airplane. Initially rejected by MIT, she gained admission after sending a video of her flight and then later graduated top of her class. Today, she researches quantum gravity and black holes, fields that extend beyond Einstein's work, and has declined high-profile offers to focus purely on understanding the universe. Harvard believes the next Einstein is among us. And again, her name is Sabrina Pasterski. At 16, she built and flew her own airplane, earning a pilot's license before a driver's license. But she first applied to MIT. She was rejected. Refusing to accept rejection, she sent MIT a video, not a statement, but a video footage of herself flying the plane that she built. The response was immediate. MIT invited her to enroll the following semester, recognizing her rare combination of skill, initiative, and determination. Sabrina went on to graduate at the top of her class in just 3 years. Faculty reportedly described her as one of the strongest students they had seen in decades, marking her as an exceptional mind in physics and in engineering. She is known for her research in quantum gravity, black holes, and space-time symmetries. Yeah. Quantum gravity, black holes, and space-time symmetry. Yeah. Educated in a blue state, by the way. She has been affiliated with Harvard's Center for the Fundamental Laws of Nature, focusing on how gravity and quantum mechanics intersect. Her work builds on concepts originally developed by Albert Einstein. Her official website, physicsgirl.com, again, physicsgirl.com, functions as a central hub for her academic work and research accomplishments. It reflects her focus on physics by consolidating her contributions professionally. physicsgirl.com. Again, educated in a blue state. The minds are out there, friends. People are so fucking intelligent, and they're educated primarily in blue states. Just wanted to let you know. So I think that's a great spot to stop. Sam, take your flowers, take your love. I will deal with the shin kicking. I have no problem with that. Mods, is so great to talk to you. By the way, Jess, it was my pleasure taking your cherry.
Hey now.
I'm just saying. I love you all very, very much. You know that. Come back tonight at 7 o'clock Eastern time right here, okay? Because we're going to do Facts After Dark. We're going to have a little bit more fun. Maybe we'll pick on Sam a little bit more. Who knows? But the theme of tonight's show is make me laugh. Come with your best jokes. Come with your best anecdotes. Come with your best stories. But I want to see you guys here tonight at 7 o'clock Eastern time. Real quick, let me just make sure I got everybody thanked who I need to thank. Hang on one second. Let's see. I think I got everybody. Let me just double check. Alyssa, thank you so very, very much. I think I got Terry. Yes, Terry, thank you for your kindness. It's very kind. Hope your daughter gets the acceptance letter she wants. So do I, Terry. So do I. Thank you very much. It's very kind of you. I think I got Trish. Thank you, Trish, for your kind words. And David, I mentioned you. Thank you so much. Let me just double check over here. Yes. Got that covered. Charles, thank you so very, very much. Appreciate you. You guys are amazing. Appreciate you all. Thank you for the kind words towards my daughter. I don't know. She's not awake yet. I'm trying to find out when that announcement comes out. I'm on edge. We're going to raid Brett. Everybody go raid our friend Brett Cross, please. Brett's going through some shit this week. He could really use the love of this community. Please head on over there. Tell him we said hello. Don't forget, friends, there's always something to do. So please always do something.